And save big and send in your media when you're ready. Visit legacybox.com/gift. That's legacybox.com/gift for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/gift.
Hey guys, this is Rachel from my good friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Most warranty companies will sign you up and then hope that you never contact them again. Or when you do, they deny your claim for lack of maintenance. You don't have to worry about that with Upkeep. At Upkeep, you deal with one home manager. That is your point person who is going to take care of everything for you. Upkeep comes out and will maintain your appliances and equipment 4 times a year. You know exactly who's going to show up because they don't contract out their work. And when they come in, they're not trying to upsell you. Let's face it, you probably already have a service plan or maintenance plan for your HVAC or equipment, but now you can have all of that plus your equipment covered for about the same cost. And the best part is now you have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment is taken care of and you're saving tons of money on your utilities. Log on to upkeepstl.com, check out everything they do, and mention the DGS and get $100 off the program. That website is upkeepstl.com.
Take a moment and rate your lifestyle on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is a life that's nothing like the life you were promised after getting good grades, a college degree, and a good job in corporate America. 10 is the life of your dreams. If you answered anything less than a 10, tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Stay connected every weekday. Marc Cox and Ryan Kilmeade in the morning. Annie Frey, then Dave Glover in the afternoon. Sean Hannity every weekday evening. 97.1 FM Talk. Streaming at 971talk.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, Sid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for joining us. Very excited to be with you today. And I got to say, it's been quite a, man, I'm echoing. There we go. Fix that. It's been quite a 24 hours for me. I got kind of bummed last night. I don't know if you follow our Facebook page. I did a Facebook Live makeupless and straight. I was sitting in my bed watching Fox News, which is I'm apt to do in the evening, just to kind of get like the bookend of I know what was going on up until 3 p.m. I take a break and spend some time with my family, and then I tune back in the evening often to see what I missed. This is just nasty. St. Louis is all over. I think that was what struck a nerve. This couple that was out in front of their Central West End home, defending their property, threatening protesters. You know, some people say wealthy white couple bears weapons, assault weapons in front of their palatial home. Okay, well, that's a bit editorial. Is it their home or isn't it? And if you have broken down a gate to come storm the castle, if it is a castle, the little Princess Bride reference there, what are they supposed to do? And I got to say, a little bit of me yesterday was looking at this thinking, is this what it's like during the show yesterday when I had the opportunity to talk about this yesterday? I don't know that I pulled my punch, but maybe I did. I think maybe I was disappointed in myself last night. I'm not like proud of these people. It's not like I'm like, yeah, them my people. It's not the way I feel about the gun wielding lawyers who are, they're representing people who are accusing police officers of police brutality. it is quite the tangled web 2020 is weaving. And the reason why I was flipping through, I DVR the shows on my YouTube TV, and I kind of skim through Tucker or skim through Hannity. Laura Ingraham was on at the time. Everyone's talking about St. Louis and this couple. We have gotten to the point in the 2020 timeline where two extremely wealthy, it would appear so, everybody keeps saying the word palatial. I didn't know it was a word, and I like that word. I like new words. Palatial. One day I hope to live in a palatial home. Not really. Too much stone. We're watching show after show after show shine the spotlight on this couple, and it was an exercise in semantics and in verbiage, and that frustrates me because you can package a story any way you want to these days, and you can present it to the people, and you can stitch in the narrative. I'm sick and tired of that. These people they live in a gated community, which is not, in fact, a sin in the United States of America. It isn't wrong to live in a palace. That's where palatial comes from.
Learn something new.
Yeah, it's not wrong to be very wealthy. It's not wrong to be economically successful. But in today's culture, it's something you should be ashamed of, or at least keep to yourself and hide a little bit. So when I got this sent to me, the video of these two in it was like a Gap commercial with guns. The first time I looked into it, and I'm like, fall into the Gap? What's happening? And I see this, and I get to the point where I can see this video. I'm like, as I said on Twitter yesterday, what the Frosted Flakes? Like, this is where I'm left. I see this, and I'm like, well, of course this is happening. Moving on. But we do have in Central West End in St. Louis protesters breaking down gates in gated communities and marching in front of. I've seen some of the video. I've seen some of the firsthand video saying about like people threatening, well, we're going to come back for their wealth later. Saying things that are threatening. These people are on their property in their fall into the Gap outfits. There's so many memes. There are so many memes. My favorite one is the two of them kind of faded into the background into an orangish, kind of a tumultuous looking sunset, and it says "Saving private property." I mean, you've got people who have the couple up there, and then it shows on the side you steal this look, and it's got the pink shirt and the brown belt and the khakis.
Yeah.
This is how we are coping. We're coping with memes because we don't know what else to do. So the reason why I bring this up, and because I did talk about this yesterday, is because if these people are protecting their property, I can't say that I'm upset about that. We're at the place where we are being told over and over and over again to shut up and listen because we've got something to tell you and you're going to hear it. And so people are willing to listen to it. And then when people, when George Floyd was murdered and the whole country was like, wow, this is terrible. This needs to never happen again. It was almost as if there was an angel choir of agreement that something needed to change in that moment. That is lightning in a bottle in this country, where everybody across this huge issue can look at something like this and go, this is bad. Something needs to change. That moment was so fleeting. So when that moment passes, then since there isn't an immediate, clash of ideology, then the line gets pushed a little bit. And then people are being told that, silence is violence, so stand up and speak up. If you have white privilege, you need to use your voice to bring attention to this. So then we get a bunch of white people trying to shout at other white people to know their privilege. And like I've said many times, who determines who gets to do the shouting and who has to be shout at Like, when do you graduate out of being bullied into, I don't know what the heck to do right now, and I'm just going to fade into the background and stay to myself? How do you get to the point where you're on the other side and you get to start barking orders at people? And I'm talking about mostly white suburban women, like that I am one of them. I don't see the progress happening here. And the people who are wanting to help, who are staying quiet, pretty much agree with the majority of the sentiment that was being discussed about racial relations in our country after the death of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd. But now it's all political. Now Black Lives Matter, which is a sentence that I agree with, has turned into a political agenda that you must agree with. And if you have any thought in your mind that deters away from defund the police, you're part of the problem. This is crazy. So I'm watching the news last night, and I'm like, how is this what you're going through every evening? When you're sitting at home and you finally sit down after a day's work or cutting the grass or making dinner or getting the kids to bed or watching the grandkids, do you sit down and do you watch the news and get exhausted from it? I mean, you could spend an entire day doing manual labor, and the most exhausting thing you will do is watch cable news. And it doesn't matter what cable news you watch. It takes a little bit of your soul. It feels like it chips at your soul, because what your soul needs is hope. I have hope in my life because of my faith. And like, the end result of that for me is going to heaven. So, okay, yeah, I'm good with that. That's where I want to go. But maybe it's the wrong mentality, but I'm like not in a hurry.
Heck no. It's great.
I like what I got here. God's blessed me here. And I said this last night on this Facebook Live, that afterwards I messaged Katie because she didn't see it. And I'm like, am I going to be mortified by the way that I look on this Facebook Live in 2 days? And she's like, I think you look just like really honest and raw. It was very complimentary and honest, and I'm probably going to delete it.
No, it's true though. You look very like man.
Like a man?
No, like
that's what I was gonna say.
You looked like a dude, Annie.
It's the most masculine you've ever looked, Annie. You looked really strong.
You just looked
very
like
strong.
sick
Nice
and
broad
tired
shoulders.
of it all. You looked like you were in your bed, just being vulnerable with people, just saying like, is anyone else feeling this way too? Because I'm sick of it.
And you were. We had 200 people on there at one point.
I thought you looked honest and raw.
Thanks,
and vulnerable.
Wow, that sounds
I've been waiting
so
this whole
familiar
time to get your reaction to that. The way I looked last night. I have to say, and one of the things that I want to talk about here when we come back is cancel culture and Dave Portnoy. How familiar are you, Ryan, with Dave Portnoy?
Mostly because of you guys, actually. I mean, I know what he does, but
what would you say he does? Explain that to me.
He's with Barstool Sports, right? And so he does things with Barstool Sports. He writes.
I would say he's a provocateur.
Yeah.
And dare I say that Dave Portnoy might be exactly what this country needs right now.
Hey.
He's someone.
Hey. Not
he is someone.
A promo. Right there.
Hey.
Dare I say, Dave Portnoy is what this country needs. Hey.
Yes.
Hey. What up, girls?
Yes, queen.
I just shout out.
Yes, queen.
You guys been talking? What up?
Yeah, he's a character. He can be an instigator, but all of the things that I'm naming are reasons why I like to listen to him.
Katie and I are very intrigued by him. It's not like what you think it is. We don't think.
You're right.
Joseph on our Facebook Live says Dave Portnoy is a crybaby Bruins fan. Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is.
Very much so.
Dave Portnoy's introduction to St. Louis was during the Stanley Cup playoffs, of which I understand that the Blues are still reigning Stanley Cup champions. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's accurate. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
I thought that was Ryan's line. Oh, man. So we're going to talk about cancel culture. Make me laugh. Let's see if it works.
I found this on the web.
No, you
No,
didn't.
no.
Make
Here's
me
your
laugh.
social security number.
What do you call a shoe made out of a banana? A slipper.
Bravo.
Did you hear that?
Hey.
Hey. Oh, man. Yesterday, it was great. So here's what we do on the breaks these days because we're trying to do anything to ease up. We're going to talk about cancel culture when we come back. But on the breaks, you tell jokes to Katie on our Facebook Live or on our YouTube Live. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube page. You tell jokes to Katie, who looks like she's on her way to the sock hop right now. And she will probably laugh at them. It's pretty easy to make her laugh, and she'll rate them 0 through 5 stars. So stick around. Katie is the star of the show on the breaks, and we'll be back in just a minute.
I know you're asking me to stay. Say please, please, please don't go away. You say I'm giving you the blues.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Everyone's lives have completely changed over the last few months, and we're all adjusting to the new norm. Most folks have lost some income and are adding a lot of new debt. There's never been a better time in history for a cash-out refinance. That's how you come out of the shutdown ready for whatever the future brings. Get pre-approved for your cash-out refinance today with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Are your windows drafty and difficult to operate? Drafty old windows can make your home uncomfortable and inefficient. Difficult to operate windows can be frustrating and extremely dangerous. At Lakeside, we believe your home should be comfortable and secure. That's why for over 22 years, we've helped homeowners like yourself replace their windows with Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. And thanks to you, Infinity was ranked #1 in 2019 for customer satisfaction. Give us a call at 636-978-5000 for your free estimate, or visit us online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ARCA, Assisted Recovery Centers of America. So alcohol and opioid addiction is a huge problem in America, as you know. And with the coronavirus, it's become even worse. Just know that there is help right here in our community. Call ARCA at 314-645-6840 or visit arcamidwest.com. Everything is professional, everything is compassionate, and everything is private. That's arcamidwest.com for help.
IT is a very tricky thing. I think a lot of us probably feel like we can handle it, and then something really big comes along, or you read about something really big coming along to someone else and you think, oh gosh, I don't know that I could sustain something like that. That's why you need to have Forensic IT in your corner. These are local folks, but they do work on a national scale, located right here on both sides of the Mississippi River in Glen Carbon, also on the Missouri side in Cape Girardeau. And you can call them at 314-677-3950. That's 314-677-3950. Forensic IT uses a root cause analysis method. This is a data-driven approach to technical problem solving that removes guesswork you're typically going to find among other organizations. Those system crashes, the virus pop-ups, the frozen applications that are frustrating the crap out of you when you're trying to get business done, Forensic IT can take care of all of that for you. If you're a small business, if you're a nonprofit, if you are a large corporation, and anywhere in between, reach out to Forensic IT and see what they can do for you. 314-677-3950, online at forensicit.com.
Red Brick Roofing, wherever you live, from Bridgeton to Baldwin, Brentwood to Kirkwood, St. Anne to St. Charles, wherever you live. Hazelwood to Maplewood, the name you know. Red Brick Roofing, wherever you go. Or a hole in your roof, or a whole new roof. Red Brick Roofing.
St. Louis, 314-645-2000.
Red Brick is the gold standard for roofing, and perhaps priced a bit lower than other bonded and insured roofers. When you invest money into fixing a hole in your roof or putting on a whole new roof, you want the peace of mind that you'll get only with Frederick Roofing. Plus, you can always depend on an immaculate cleanup when the job has been completed by Frederick's own licensed and insured crews.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
Someday, 2020 will be history. Until then, keep it here for the latest in what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk. Information with perspective.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for joining us today. One of the things in my Facebook Live that I did last night, this is weird, from my bedroom, in my bed.
Go on.
Yeah, you thought this was a family-friendly show.
Not after Ryan's dance moves.
You can't find it with Safe Search on.
You talk about Safe Search a lot, Ryan.
Yeah.
What do you know about Safe Search?
Well, I've got like 15 computers, and I notice sometimes if I search things,
do you have one hidden somewhere that your wife doesn't know about?
No, I know, right?
Wait, what?
No, if you search something online and you don't have Safe Search on, sometimes you'll see stuff that you don't want to see. And I've got too many computers.
Katie, have you had that problem?
No,
me neither.
I've never ever. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
What are you searching that's not showing you what you want to, want to see?
Like if you just type in, like you're not meaning it to mean anything, but if you just type in like big dude, that's a normal thing that people type. And if you just type that in, like some stuff's going to come up that you're like, whoa, that is not what I intended. Safe Search on, please, Google.
Yep.
I got nothing. I have absolutely nothing. There's no way to segue into Dave Portnoy.
Nope.
Right now because of this. Katie and I were talking. We see Dave Portnoy. He makes us laugh. The dude has an empire of Barstool Sports that is crude, and it's not geared towards millennial females, but I think it's kind of ridiculous to think that millennial females couldn't understand what he's doing, that we would be so snowflakey that we would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that he's saying that. Like, this is not the way I am. And Katie and I were just discussing before the show started, there's something about Dave Portnoy that I appreciate so much. And I think it's that in a world where we are all being told exactly what we are supposed to be and exactly what we're not allowed to be, Dave Portnoy is out there being Dave Portnoy about everything.
Mm-hmm. The No Fun Club, if the cancel culture wants to go back blog by blog, video by video, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, decade by decade, and comb through everything we've ever said and done, yeah, you're going to find a few jokes that miss the mark. That things that are, if they were said today, you'd be like, how did they say this? What are they, idiots? But times change. Sensitivities change. Cultures change. When you've been doing it as long as we have, things change. It's like going into a comedy club for a comedian that you hate, that you didn't buy a ticket for, hearing a joke, running out to the street, be like, hey, you'll never believe what this guy said, without giving any context or even saying it was a comedy show. That's what these people do. And I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to bend the knee.
I love that. Thank you for somebody to stand up and say something like that in this time that we're living in. Thank you, Dave Portnoy. I'm looking at Barstool Sports on Wikipedia right now. It was founded in 2003. I graduated high school in 2002. Sorry, folks. I graduated in just after 9/11 happened. So much has changed since then. So incredibly much has changed. And I can just think in the last few years that we discovered that Ralph Northam, who's the governor of Virginia, and Justin Trudeau, who is the Lord of Canada or something like that, were just apparently in their history found to have blackface on. It is not a non-issue. It's a non-issue. There's, like if Donald Trump were to have been found to have ever darkened his face in a shade other than the orange that he kind of is right now, I just have to say it. But if we were to find the Northam Trudeau past in Donald Trump's history, would he survive that? I don't know that maybe Trump could because he seems to be like Teflon. People are so sick and tired of the selective outrage And Dave Portnoy, who, this is what Wikipedia explains, a sports and pop culture blog founded by Dave Portnoy in 2003 in Milton, Massachusetts. The site, whose two primary investors are the Turning Group and Penn National Gaming, is currently headquartered in New York City. Don't go to Barstool Sports and be like, this is what Andy said too. Like he's a brand of provocateur. He's kind of a shock jock on the internet, and he does and says what he wants. And here's what I love about that. I see things that Barstool puts out and I'm like, that's pretty insensitive. And then I move on with my life. I don't write letters and to people and come onto this show and start screaming about how we need to freaking cancel Barstool Sports, because I have other things to do with my life. And if Barstool Sports can exist out there and say things and push the line and, use the First Amendment to speak in a way that they want to speak, they are doing so with the understanding that it's for some people and it's not for others. They're not trying to please everybody. They're not trying to put their stuff out there so that they can make sure that they can check every social justice box that exists to make sure that nobody will ever be offended by anything that they say. If they were doing that, they wouldn't still exist today.
Mm-hmm.
So I am attracted in the sense that I still will watch his content. It's not like everything at Barstool is Dave Portnoy. It is a pretty big operation where other people, we've had Young Page Views, who is somebody who is from St. Louis. I think he's from Chesterfield, maybe.
I think so, yeah.
And he's a huge blues fan. And when the Bruins were playing the Blues, Dave Portnoy and Young Page Views were here. And if you remember seeing the chinchilla with the guy wearing the 80s starter jacket or 90s starter jacket blues retro stuff, that's Young Pages. He's from St. Louis. He works for Barstool Sports. I've read content come out from him where he talks about how much he now values his Midwestern childhood and the way we treat each other in the Midwest now that he's lived in New York City. And he's grown to understand this. I love that. It's dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I am seeing something from Barstool Sports that's offensive to me, I move on. Why are we not doing this on every level of entertainment? Seriously, folks, when it comes, somebody suggested last night that they thought that conservatives need to be better at boycotting. And I think the opposite. I hate boycotts. I am a fan of spending your money, spending the extra dollar. First of all, freaking shop local. If you're going to help your neighbor, they might be a Republican or a Democrat, but they are your neighbor. That money goes into their pocket and then back into your own community, and then back into your own community, and then back into your own community. Find the local. I said this last night on Facebook Live. If you're looking to give somebody a gift, don't give them the thing that you found at Walmart that looks cute. Go to, I was talking about in Edwardsville, there's this place called Water Sweet Soap Company. They have the best bath bombs. I have right here in my hand this lotion bar that is fantastic from Water Sweet Soap Company. I just walked in and saw this place. It is a family who created these soaps and stuff in their own house. And then they bought a small storefront, and now they've got a bigger one. That is the American dream. Go buy their soap and give it to somebody. It's going to mean something to somebody. That's how, in my opinion, we beat this, is you spend your dollars locally, you let people know about it, and you support the people in your circle. Get the politics out of it. The conservative, if you match a conservative boycott with a liberal boycott, it just raises the volume of all the shouting, but nobody changes their mind about anything. When you have, the analogy I used last night was, if you were in the political landscape that we're in right now, I feel like some of cable news, cable primetime news this is a good example of this. If you turn on one channel, you've got the conservative on there, and he or she is shouting facts, things that are very persuasive as to why Joe Biden would be very, very bad for our country. Shouting them at the rooftops. But the problem is that everybody in the room watching that show already agrees. It doesn't matter if you whisper. It doesn't matter if you yell. Everybody is of like mind. You're not persuading anybody. And if you were to walk past that room and hear the shouting, you'd be like, whoa, I'm not going in there. That sounds aggressive. And then you go down to down and on the left side of the hallway, you hear more shouting, and you hear people picking and choosing little facts that subsidize their agenda or their point. And you go, gosh, that sounds like a lot of shouting. I'm not going in there. How do we create a room that is calm, rational, looks inviting, and talks about real stuff without all the yelling? Because both of those first two rooms that I explained, when you're walking down the hall and you can hear it, the noise coming from each one of those, nobody is peeking in those rooms to see what's going on. And everybody in those rooms already agrees with each other. So you only pull each other apart. We have to start creating a society and a scenario where we become approachable, where we talk about our perspective and not about our persuasion on somebody else. It's the only way I think this is going to get fixed. And I'm like stressing about it, folks.
Well, and I think something too that to go along with what you're saying, we have to accept when someone says, I've changed. So Dave Portnoy is a great example of this. He said 2 decades ago, my comedy, what I was writing, the satire that I was putting up on the blog is completely different than what I would write today. And I've changed in that way. I've made progress in that way. So what was relatable and funny back then isn't happening now. And we're making sure it's not happening now. But what I'm protesting, I guess, against is the fact that now I have to bow down to the cancel culture. Now I have to end the website that I just worked my butt off for and I gave everything to, when if all you're asking for me is to change, I've done that. So can you accept that? And we can move on.
And the change is what these folks should want.
Yes.
Like the actual evidence of an evolution over time. And if you span 20 years in your life and you don't change your opinions on certain things, what are you doing with your existence? You're always going to change. You might become even more fervent about specific issues for different reasons. You might have been raised to be a Republican, and then you grow up 20 years later and you've got your own job and you're working your tail off. Now you're a Republican because you've kind of become your own version of a Republican. And when Dave Portnoy is out there saying, this is what existed then, and this is who I am now. And if you're only going to look at who I was then, why would anybody ever push yourself into the public to try to say anything ever again? I know, like when I say to you on this show that it is an honor and a privilege to be here, I am very aware, because while I've only been on the show, I've only been on in middays in 97.1 for a little over 2 years. I've been in radio for almost 15 years. I have been in a support role propping up people who do what I do much, much longer. And I have seen quite a lot in that amount of time. It is over just like that. If I say one thing wrong to you and the mob wants to come after me, the mob wins right now. That's the problem, is the mob wins. Maybe the mob is correct. But we don't even stop. We don't even pause today to ask that question. If there is a group that is willing to be noisy enough for long enough, they win. And it's because they've scared people who might dissent from them or might say, I see your point. I would like to go about it this way. You can't do that. You do not have the privilege to do that, because what happens is they break down the gate in front of your house. And they have the privilege to march right in front of your private property. And if you do anything to defend it, you become national news. You become a meme. You become something that is scary because you have a gun that you lawfully own in a state that you can lawfully protect your property. I'm not here to defend their decision to do this in a way that is to encourage other people to do it. But nobody ever even paused to ask the question, do they have a right to do what they were doing? Does this lawyer couple have a right to defend their property with the Second Amendment rights that they have and the guns that they lawfully own? Do they have a right to do this? Because it seems to me on the other side of the aisle, we're never asking whether it's smart to protest in the way that people are protesting, whether it's smart to stay up all night and break curfews and have, violent riots. We're never asking if it's smart. We're only asking if it's lawful. First Amendment rights, folks. Let's celebrate it, and people need to get their message out, and they need to be heard, and we need to let them do it. You wouldn't even dare talk about whether or not it was the right decision, as long as you can figure out a way that it's lawful. We did not give that opportunity to these two people holding guns on their property when the gate that is protecting their home that they pay to live in, folks, because they've earned it. We didn't give them that right. We didn't give them that opportunity. And so I think last night when I went on that Facebook Live and I was seeing this be national news, I think I pulled some punches. I don't necessarily, like I said, I'm not like saying, all right, everybody, go get your ARs and stand on your front porch and wait for trouble to come along because America. That's not what I'm saying, folks. But we are so backed into a corner. If you are a common sense loving American right now that isn't inherently opposed to what protesters are trying to voice, you can be with them in mind, but you cannot speak up unless you do it the way they say. And I am tired of it. I'm just tired of it. Dave Portnoy keeps speaking the truth and he keeps winning. That's the other thing that blows my mind. I keep watching him and I'm like, whoa. Then he wins.
Oh boy.
Then he wins again. He wears really weird outfits too.
Weird.
It's very bizarre. It's a show, folks. It is absolutely a show. Thank you for being here. Jokes on the break. Send us your jokes. Katie will rate them 0 through 5 stars. Ryan will also serve as like he's like the minority on the Supreme Court right now, and he will tell you if Katie was right or wrong. He might dissent. And,
I will dissent regardless of what she thinks, as you well know.
Basically, everybody will be served here. So tell us your jokes on our Facebook Live, on the Annie Frey YouTube page, and we come back. I'd like to take some of your phone calls on this. How do you feel about the cancel culture? Do you think we should be boycotting? What's the solution? 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Working more from home, so is your HVAC system. If your system needs service, Air Comfort Service will promptly and safely be there for you. Visit aircomfortservice.com. Cassins, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. I pass by Cassins pretty much every day, and there's a reason why their parking lot is always teeming full of people who are looking for a new vehicle. They trust Cassins. It's really that simple. I've purchased multiple vehicles from Cassins, and I purchased them before I ever was able to have the privilege to come advertise for them. I want you to understand that they have people coming back generation after generation to buy their vehicles, car after car. 6-7 years go by and they get a new car. They go back to Cassins mostly and because they trust them. They know they're going to get a good value. They know they're going to get a great product, and they know they're going to continue to get the great service that you can get when you go to Cassins. It's a super easy to find location. It is on 159, just off 270, 2 miles north or so, and you'll be right there at Cassins. You can check out their Dodge Power Dollars, 2020 Challenger, SRT, Hellcat, Red Eye, almost $8,000 cash alliance. What about Rams? 0%, 72 months plus no payments for 90 days when financed through Chrysler Capital on all 2019 Ram 1500 models. Just some of the amazing deals available for you at Cassins right now. Make sure when you stop by, you mention the Annie Frey Show, and you'll get the extra great treatment. I think they probably just treat everybody that great anyway. CassinsCan.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
Home truly is your place of trust. Protect your investment with a free remote estimate from CertaPro Painters. Show us what you'd like painted from the safety and comfort of your own home. We'll ask some questions and add some expert advice. Then we'll provide a detailed estimate so you know exactly what you're getting and what happens next. It's all quick, safe, and easy. Whatever painting project you have in mind, your local neighborhood CertaPro painters will do the job right. Start your remote or on-site estimate today at CertaPro.com. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
Celebrating 20 years of the Dave Glover Show on 97.1 with the DGS's greatest hits. Brought to you by Michael's Flooring Outlet.
The intro to the Brady Bunch.
Did they ever talk about the previous marriages?
Well, I think they both died because no way they'd have done divorces.
Right. Yeah, they would have had to have, because there would have had to have at least been one episode where the other mom was coming to pick up the kid.
Maybe they killed each other.
They can't just never see him again.
Maybe they killed each other.
It was a murder-suicide. A very Brady murder-suicide.
I think it was a car crash. The husband was driving one car. The wife was driving the other, and it was a head-on collision.
And that's how they met.
DGS 20.
Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
More than ever, this is where St. Louis is coming to talk. Computer, smart speaker, radio, phone. People are gathering here. Thanks for listening and staying connected. 97.1 FM Talk.
I think the winning joke over the break here on our Facebook Live and our YouTube Live, if you're watching us, we put up your jokes and Katie laughs at all of them, and Ryan is an elitist in the comedy arena, so sometimes he's kind of a little harsh. He's like the Simon Cowell of commercial jokes. CJ says, why does Snoop Dogg always carry an umbrella for drizzle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Such
solid.
a good one.
I really liked Sue Ellen. I was going to tell you a time travel joke, but you didn't like it.
That's a good one. That is a good one. We've been talking a little bit about cancel culture, and I'm kind of over it. And by kind of, I mean, I am so far past over it. Ryan, your thoughts on cancel culture? Do you think that boycotts serve a purpose, like organized boycotts? Because in my opinion, there's a difference between, I know that there are certain organizations that will donate to Planned Parenthood. I don't support them, but I'm not really calling on other people to do that. I expect them to do their own research.
Yeah, part of me is okay with free market stuff like that by saying, if you're going to participate in the free market, I'm going to also participate in the free market by not buying your stuff or by conversely buying your stuff if I like your company. But I think what bothers me about cancel culture is, and you said it in the last break, you said people are scared of them. And that's the one weapon that the mob has. And they're the same as dictators. They're the same as a bad parent or a bad boss. They use one weapon to get you to comply with what they want, and that is fear. Anybody who uses fear to control you, they're doing it wrong. That's not the right way to get compliance. It's okay to want people to change, but to use fear to do it is not the right way to do it.
And I would also say the only way that they get fear is if you give it to them. Like, you still are in control of that transaction, but it is a really tough time to stand up for what you believe in. And where do you even stand up in the first place? It becomes, it's very cumbersome and it's very frightening. I want to get to some phone calls. If you want to join the show and weigh in on this issue, 314-241-9797. Let's start with Mike. Mike, thank you so much for calling the show.
Hi, Annie. I love your show.
Thank you, Mike.
as regards to that couple with the weapon outside their apartment or their home, 10 years ago, if somebody saw that, they'd think that those people were radical lunatics and they probably would have police at their door right away. But you have to look at the culture and the environment we're in today, where you have all these rioters and looters intermingled with protesters, and they're firebombing, they're throwing stuff through windows, they're breaking into places. What is the couple supposed to do? Just hunker down in their house and wait for them to start kicking the door in or what have you?
Yeah.
It's just a different world we live in, and you just can't wait for them to throw a firebomb or shoot at you anymore.
Yeah, I am frustrated by. Thanks for calling. I'm frustrated by where the line is drawn, where what is too much. Where is the point? If you were a kid, I don't know. This is very generational too. And Ryan, you've got kids, so I'd be interested in how you intend to raise your children to stand up to bullies. My kids have experienced bullying. My kids have experienced mean boys and mean girls alike. And I have to say that there is a point where I'm watching my child come home in tears from something, and I'm like, you're going to need to stand up to them. And with my daughter, it has been a situation where I say to her, you need to tell the person, you need to stop being mean. I don't want to be around you if you're going to be mean. Like, don't be mean to me. And just immediately when after there's a series of events that have happened repeatedly enough that that you kind of get the idea of what this bully is trying to do, you just have to go to them and say, stop being mean, and call them out for exactly what it is. It's different with boys. We went through a few schools consecutively over the years because we had left the school that we were at. We went into public school, had a really, really great experience. It was the first time we'd been in public school. And he just wasn't used to having to make friends because he had been raised around the same people. Like these people were just around him all the time. And we had to pull him out of that situation because where we were was not a good situation and remains to be frustrating. You put them in a public school and now all of a sudden you've got to make friends. I did the same thing. In high school, I went to a parochial high school for 1 year, and then I went to a public high school, and then I went back to the parochial high school because I did not know how to make friends. There was a scenario where you would have to go be out and be among people. That is different than when you have the bully coming at you and trying to squash you down. So Ryan, what is for you? It's different with boys and girls, whether people want to admit that or not. It just is. Is there a scenario where you're going to raise your son to say you're going to need to take care of business, or do you not see that happening?
That's a good question. I mean, every scenario is so different, and my kids are pretty little still. They're just in kindergarten or just leaving kindergarten, so they're 6 years old. They're just starting to
Here's
deal
how you
with
throw a right hook.
Yeah. Well, every situation, just like in society, is different in that there are different circumstances that lead to different reactions. So we kind of take each one as they come and advise within them. But yeah, there are times that you have to say, look, you've got to stop taking crap. There are times where we say, no, actually, why don't you turn the other cheek in this situation? Why don't you be Jesus in this situation to that person? There are other times where we have to say, you have to stand up for something in this situation. So it is all based on the circumstance, and much like the circumstances that we face as a larger society, you're just sort of teaching them what it's like to deal with the bigger ones.
I'm glad you said it that way, because you do turn the other cheek, which is what I think that our country was prepared to do. And then it went too far. And I do believe that we are at the moment in time right now where we're going to have to stand up to the bully.
Yeah.
And standing up to the bully doesn't mean that you disagree with everything that the bully it's not about the content of any particular issue. It's about the method. It's about the tactic. That's where we are right now. And if you were, I don't know who, this is where I think that we need to have some more leadership, potentially from President Trump or from our leaders that are more local to us, where we say, you need to stand up to the bully and you need to speak up. I got some more phone calls here I want to get to real quick if we can. Charles has been holding on the line, 314-241-9797. Charles, thanks for calling the show.
Thank you, Annie. I appreciate it. I listen to your show every day. My family was a victim of gun violence in St. Louis a few years back. We lost a family member. And Kim Gardner told us that she wouldn't prosecute the individual because of the police officer that investigated it. Now she's going after these people that are trying to defend their homes. Is this just fitting her political agenda, or where's this going? I don't see this as criminal reform. I see this as bowing down to the criminals and then going after the law-abiding citizens just trying to protect themselves.
Charles, thank you so much for listening to the show, and thank you for telling us your story. I'm very sad that is what happened. But you cannot deny the politics in the midst of all of this. You cannot see what is taking place and say that there is not politics involved here. So, is Kim Gardner going to have a Republican challenger? Didn't she win? She won the primary and then it was like unchallenged.
Yeah.
I don't know. Marc Cox is going to be on with us at 1:25. I'm going to ask him that question, Charles. Thank you for giving us that call. We're also going to speak with Congresswoman Ann Wagner at 1:00. I would love to know your questions that you would like to ask her. I saw somebody already suggested asking her, like, where's leadership on this? Where's leadership on these issues? Statues are being threatened to come down, and it's one thing to have a discussion about whether a statue should continue to exist in a public space. But when you know that when that statue was removed, you're not any inch closer to a solution for these people, that becomes frustrating for everybody involved. We're going to talk to her about that and a new bill that she's got proposed in just a minute. Stick around. Tell us your jokes. Make Katie and Ryan laugh. And I just basically sit here and laugh at them. It's fantastic. On the Facebook Live, Annie Frey YouTube page. Back in a minute.
As temperatures heat up, so are the savings. During our Legacy Box Cyber Summer Sale, we're offering 50% off. Legacy Box is the best way to preserve your home movies and photos.
Legacy Box is one of the most meaningful things you can do for your family. Plus, we've made it simple and safe, and it's currently on sale.
Legacy Box is an all-in-one mailed kit to having your aging media converted to digital. Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film reels, and photos.
Our staff of over 250 professionals digitize everything by hand right here in the United States. In a few weeks, you get everything back on DVD or digital, ready to watch and enjoy.
We've helped over 850,000 families relive their glory days. Get started today rescuing your trapped videotapes and photos.
Shop our Cyber Summer Sale to save 50% off today. Buy now and save big, and send in your media when you're ready. Visit legacybox.com/gift. That's legacybox.com/gift for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/gift.
Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group is the man who can usher you from maybe a little bit of angst that you have right now, a little trepidation about going into your retirement. You've been working a long time for it. You've been thinking about it basically for the entire duration of the time you realized you were committing the rest of your life to working. Someone said, well, what about retirement? You better start saving now. So you did. And now you are very close to it. How do you know that it's enough? How do you know that it's safe? How do you know that your investments that you have right now are where they need to be? Well, you don't need to know all of that stuff because Thomas Helbig does. And he is offering free retirement reviews to you right now. As an Annie Frey Show listener, you can call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Thomas is a very kind person and he's a friend of mine. And I'm sure that when you listen to him and hear how he's never had a client lose a penny, you're quickly going to want to be one of those clients. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The wet times continue on this Tuesday. Clouds control periods of rain and thunderstorms. Heavy rain again possible, especially this morning. Now, it's very humid, but because of the clouds and the wet, it's a little cooler today, 85 for the high. Tonight, the evening's okay. Partly cloudy skies and dry, but more thunderstorms developing late tonight, 73. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Think about it.
The people in California admit that because when you register for a driver's license, you're automatically registered to vote, and they register illegal aliens for driver's licenses.
They're automatically registered to vote. Why would we not be concerned about things like that? Talk about it.
That party of the working men and women of this country, that's over. It's full-bore leftism. They've pulled off the Band-Aid on this, right?
This is 97.1 FM Talk. KFTK FM Florissant. K254CR St. Louis. Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group. 97.1 FM Talk. A radio.com station.
Getting lawmakers up to speed on Russia bounty reports. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Select Republican and Democratic lawmakers have been briefed on intelligence reports Russia paid the Taliban to target American forces in Afghanistan. After a briefing earlier today, Maryland Democratic Congressman Steny Hoyer commented on the administration's response.
The president called this a hoax publicly. Nothing in the briefing that we have just received led me to believe it is a hoax.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says the U.S. does have the ability to respond to such actions.
Well, there'd be many options of what we could do to Russia. The one thing you do have to find right now, find out if it is true.
The White House says President Trump was not briefed on the issue until after reports surfaced in the New York Times. Some reports out today indicate top White House officials were aware of the intelligence early last year. While research continues on a coronavirus vaccine, those who've recovered from the illness can help others. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar telling Fox's Mornings with Maria that plasma donations are showing strong signs of success in those affected by COVID-19.
People who have recovered from COVID can donate their plasma. That plasma can then be used as basically, think of it as an immune booster shot for individuals who are suffering from that. And we're seeing positive early results in tens of thousands of cases. We're still looking at that data.
U.S. coronavirus deaths now approaching 130,000 with about 2.6 million confirmed cases. An American passport won't get you into Europe for the time being. The European Union today announcing 14 countries it would allow travel from as it eases COVID-19 restrictions. The U.S. is among several nations still restricted from non-essential travel because of coronavirus infection rates. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, if you're looking to cut costs and free up some cash on a monthly basis, start today with Pure Talk USA. Now, the average family of four is saving over $800 a year on cell phone service by switching to Pure Talk USA. Now, every plan includes unlimited talk and text. And by the way, just starts at $20. So switch to Pure Talk today. Just dial pound 250 keyword Pure Radio. Pure Talk USA, simply smarter wireless. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text from Pure Talk USA.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The heavier rain's now shifting off to the east, but clouds will basically control this afternoon. At a risk of a thunderstorm, but nothing like we've seen. 85 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy. The evening's fine, but more thunderstorms coming in after midnight. 73 on Wednesday, very humid. Scattered thunderstorms around, especially in the morning on Wednesday. 90 degrees. Limited thunderstorm activity, but very humid Thursday and Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID-19. It's another thing to be stuck with a house. We have good news for homeowners listening throughout St. Louis. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is still buying houses. More importantly, we offer sellers a completely virtual selling process that maintains social distancing standards. Sell your home now. Call Chris today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 314-782-7000. Can't collect rent? Not a problem. We buy My Tenant Won't Pay Me the Rent houses as well as vacant houses. We buy houses as is and deal with any situation. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call Chris today and get your house sold. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
Lakeside Renovation and Design, formerly known as Lakeside Exteriors. They used to focus on doing the outside of the home, the James Hardie siding, the Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. They were very good. Are very good at what they do. These transformations are altering. You can change the entire look of your house. You can maybe even give it kind of a restorative look when you go with the James Hardie siding with Lakeside Renovation and Design. Not only are they fantastic at putting the siding on, but if you want a little help, if you want some cool suggestions on how to really, really make your home stand out in the best possible way, Lakeside can do that. They kept doing such a great job on the outside. They got invited back into the home to do the kitchen remodels, to do the basement finishes, to do the bathroom remodels, to do the front entry doorways, the custom entry doorways. They're very good at what they do, and these are the kindest people. Treated their customers and their employees right 100% of the coronavirus time. And I want to make sure that you're connected to some good people who you're going to have come into your home to make it the home that you've always wanted it to be. LakesideRenovationandDesign.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, heard every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Nearly every week, our team meets with clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and in some cases actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion on your retirement plan today. When you work with us at the ClearPath Wealth Management Group, we're committed to providing you with guidance that's in your best interest, no exceptions. To request your free consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Again, that's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
From local leaders to national figures, they're talking here. Stay connected at 971talk.com or radio.com and stream the station anytime, anywhere. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The other things that Donald Trump did that I think was truly remarkable that he gets no credit for is that he got government out of the way. He allowed American companies to step up, American ingenuity to take over when we needed supplies and resources. He cut the red tape and let Americans do what they do best. And he passed a lot of the decision making down to state and local governments who were closest to the problem.
So that's Sarah Sanders talking about the president's response to the COVID crisis that our country and that the world, honestly, is facing. And we're going in waves on this thing. We are managing multiple crises at one specific time. It's exhausting. And I know a lot of people are looking towards government to say, what are you going to do specifically on the economic recovery front? And that's why we wanted to bring on Congresswoman Ann Wagner today to discuss some of her efforts in the House to make that happen. Congresswoman, thank you so much for the time today. It's great to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be with you and your listeners, Annie. Always great.
Thank you. I'm looking at this legislation that you have, bipartisan legislation that you have proposed along with Congressman Lacy Clay here in Missouri as well. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Because the economic impact is a very real thing that Americans, specifically here in Missouri, but across the country, are facing. What you were doing with Congressman Clay to try to help those individuals.
Yes, thank you, Annie. In fact, we have spent the majority of our time during this COVID period enacting the 4 pieces of legislation that we did pass on a bipartisan basis, and making sure that we help our constituents. And to me, it's all about customer service, doing the casework, doing the constituent services work, whether that's helping them with their unemployment insurance checks, helping them with their stimulus checks, or in this particular instance, helping the small business owners. There was a program called the Paycheck Protection Program, and Congress put in about $660 billion into this program to help small businesses, and mainly to help their employees stay connected to their employers. And the reason, you did a lead-in that talked about with Sarah Huckabee about how quickly things moved, and how it really relied on the local and state governments and things to do this. What we relied on lenders, not the government, but lenders. It was backed up by the government. We put the money forward, but the lenders, the financial institutions, banks, credit unions, to get this money out the door. Over 90,000 Missourians have taken advantage of this program in the small business sector. Over $9 billion to Missouri, and average size nationally, I only have a national figure, is about $108,000 that some small business took out. Some of them are as small as $25,000, $35,000, $40,000. And what this does is it's called the Paycheck Protection Program Calculator Bill. And what this does is it allows these small businesses to calculate their loan forgiveness. And kind of an easy to use online free calculator for the small business owners to help them go through their forgiveness forms. So there's, quite a bit of paperwork in order to convert some of these from a loan to a forgivable loan or grant. And instead of paying thousands and thousands of dollars, Annie, to an accountant, an attorney to figure out all of this paperwork, we have come up with a calculator that will be blessed, so to speak, by the Small Business Administration and Treasury. They're going to create it and they're going to certify it. And it's a forgiveness calculator that's going to really help them fill out their forms, help them calculate everything from their expenses to their payroll data, the period of time that should be covered, what's included, what's excluded, all of those kinds of things, so that they don't have to pay someone else to do it. And it will be certified by the SBA and Treasury. And it'll be one calculator. It will be free and accurate. And I can tell you that the SBA will have to accept any application to request loan forgiveness that is submitted with the assistance of the calculator. So it is bipartisan, it is needed, and it's also, Annie, let me tell you, it's bicameral. So that means I have Senate sponsors too. Senator Kennedy, the ever colorful Senator Kennedy.
He's one of our faves.
he's handling it for us in the Senate, along with Democrat Senator King. So my hope, if we don't pass this, Annie, standalone, that it will be included in perhaps the next package that we'll be doing at the maybe end of July, beginning of August, to again further help from a health and economic standpoint on COVID. So I want to make sure, since we did the Flexibility Act for small business and PPP loans, that they've got 24 months now. They can hang on till this makes it through, and then use the calculator that's been certified, and then their paperwork will be done. So I'm serve on Financial Services Committee, been very involved in especially the small business aspect of this, along with Congressman Clay, who serves on Financial Services also. So it's a good piece of legislation. It's going to help real people, which is what this is about right now, Annie, during all of these tumultuous times, as you have alluded to, that we figure out a way to make people's lives a little easier, a little better, take the burden off, the kind of constituent services, customer service that we are providing full on with all of my team and staff and myself is key to, people trying to make it through these really rough times.
Congresswoman, with this bill, it sounds like it will pass with all the bipartisan support and the people you've got sponsoring it. I know a lot of small business owners myself who've been very confused by this whole thing. They were glad to get the loan, but they didn't know how to pay it back, and it sounds like you're addressing that. Is there going to be, do you know, kind of a graduated system where smaller businesses have to pay back a certain amount, where we heard there was a lot of bigger, quote unquote, small businesses that were getting pretty big loans? Would they have to pay back the same amounts?
Well, it's all based on the calculator. Remember, this is supposed to, the forgivable part of this loan is if it was going to your employees, if it was going for your utilities, your rent, your mortgage, that percentage of it would be forgiven over a period of time. And the key was to make sure that we didn't end up with people on the unemployment rolls, that they still had their health insurance. So keeping the employee attached to the employer was so important. A little counterintuitive for a lot of businesses, because sometimes they're being paid to stay home, right? When the stay-at-home orders were in place. So we're glad, folks, a lot of people have gone back to work. They're going to have a longer period of time, a lot of flexibility. And what I'm hoping for is that some of the very smaller loans, certainly ones that were less than $150,000, that those could just be automatically forgiven with just a tiny bit of paperwork and just wiped off the records. The others could use the calculator to figure things out. If you took a little larger one, you may have to have a compliance person work through it to figure out. But this was really designed, and you're quite right. Moving target at first, a lot of changes were made, but it was really just to try and adapt to the needs of the business community. And I will tell you, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, who I just left moments ago at a hearing, and the Fed Chairman Powell were instrumental in giving us the maximum flexibility to shape this program. And we continue to do that to make sure that it's user-friendly and reaches the target. There is still, I can tell you, about $100 billion left in this program. So we've gone through about $518 billion already. There's about $100 billion left for small businesses out there. So if you still have need, you should get with your lender, your bank, your community bank, your credit union, and get one of these. And they're also for charitable, for C3s too, 501c3s. A lot of our nonprofits and charitable institutions have been able to get these PPP loans too.
I want to speak to you about some of the unrest. We're speaking with Congresswoman Ann Wagner here, representing the 2nd Congressional District of Missouri. I'm reading a headline right now because this St. Louis couple defending their home. There's protesters and they're on their property. There's a lot of opinion out there on this, but this is the CNN headline. And I think that the way that this is written is the thing that frustrates the most people. It's not necessarily, I mean, we're not even talking about should they have done that and should the protesters be on their property. Here's the headline. St. Louis couple pulls firearms on protesters cutting through their private street. So the private street is the last thing that's mentioned. The protesters being on their private property is the second thing that is mentioned. But St. Louis couple pulls firearms. I mean, I don't know what the solution is for people who listen to this show, who we share this anxiety of wanting to do something, wanting to contribute to a better tomorrow for our state, for our country, for our families, for our kids. This is really tough, Congresswoman, and I don't know that the solution lies in the hands of government officials, but you are one, and I'm curious what your opinion is. How does America get past this moment in time?
Well, it is a very, very tough moment in time, and I don't care whether you're and I think what you saw that happened in St. Louis over the weekend. I'm here in D.C., but I certainly read about it and read the reports. Is really function of all of this discussion about defunding and dismantling our police departments, villainizing our men and women in blue who are working so hard. It is an outrageous thought and is dangerous. And I think people are scared and they're anxious. And I don't care whether it's about their own personal safety, that of their property. They probably left out of that headline Annie, the fact that they also toppled over, an iron gate to get to their front yard. Look at what happens with these statues. I'm literally sitting here on Capitol Hill, 3 blocks from the statue of Abraham Lincoln that is now surrounded by barricades and armed guards. Look at our own St. Louis, that iconic statue in front of our art museum of King Louis IX, and who was sainted. And people have been gathering around it for days and days on end, peacefully praying the rosary, and disruptors want to show up and deface it with chalk or spray paint. They want it toppled down. They want to rename our city. I mean, this has gotten out of hand. Truly, the thing that these vandals are creating violence. It's not the way to certainly move a monument or a memorial. Our president passed an executive order that says he's going to protect those, and has made it clear that he's prosecuting. In fact, there are wanted posters. The FBI have several in custody. That if you desecrate a monument certainly on federal property, you're going to look at doing some prison time of up to 10 years. If you want to change something, Annie, you petition your government. You do it the right way. You don't do it through mobs and vandals and violence and also, where does it stop? I mean, Christopher Columbus, I saw, was taken down. Going after Ulysses Grant, who led the Union Army, Abraham Lincoln, and the Emancipation Proclamation. It's King Louis the Ninth, who was sainted by the Catholic Church and is our patron saint. I don't know why Pierre Leclerc chose him. I know the statue was erected after the 1904 World's Fair in honor of it, and it's just really disgraceful, I think.
I completely agree with you. The conversation that is being had nationally is not about the merit of the presence of the statues. It's now about the method with which we're having the conversation, and that seems to not be productive to me. Congresswoman, thank you for what you're doing to make sure that business owners are able to stay in business and to help people so they can retain their jobs. We've got a long road ahead, but it's good to see that you are working in a bipartisan fashion to make that possible
I always try and do that. If you really want to get something done, it's the only way to. I'm upset by some of the real polarization that we're seeing in Congress and across our country. We've got to come together. And you know what, Annie, we're all leading up to the 4th of July here. The celebration of our country. I hope that you get some time with your family and your listeners do. Let's celebrate America, the good stuff, our freedom, our flag, fireworks, a good St. Louis pork steak. Let's remember what's great about America, okay? And how blessed and lucky we are. During these dark times, I think we're going to need it. So best to
wise
you.
Words. Thank you so much, Congresswoman. We appreciate you coming on here today. I want to encourage people to follow Congresswoman at Rep. Ann Wagner. Great to speak with her, representing the 2nd Congressional District of Missouri. Quick break. When we come back, I'm going to ask Mark about that. I'm glad that the Congresswoman set that up. She's asking us to celebrate our country this weekend on the weekend, the day that we celebrate the creation, the birth of America. Can you even do that? Is it worth celebrating? I see one political party saying "Make America Great Again," and a common response is, "When was it ever great?" That's a tough pill to swallow. I'm going to ask Mark that when we come back. Marc Cox of the Marc Cox Morning Show joins us, and we'll answer that question. I have a feeling he's got some things to say about it. And also, he was at the statue here in St. Louis, and we're going to hear the story straight from him when we return. Don't go anywhere. Tell us some jokes on the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live, and Katie and Ryan will react to them. And some of them are really funny. Stop sending the really funny ones when I'm doing serious interviews. It's hard to keep a straight face. We'll be back in just a minute.
We can live beside the ocean.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Swim out past the breaker. Watch the world die.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
Every day, Ameren works to deliver reliable energy throughout the region to on-the-go families, new parents, in-the-know grandparents, busy students, night owls, weekend warriors, and more. But did you know we also have options to help manage and track your energy, like paperless billing, outage notifications, pick a due date, and so much more. So no matter who you are or how you use your energy, there's an option that's right for you. Learn more at ameren.com/options.
As your employees are transitioning back to work, you want to provide a safe environment for them to work in. JanPro Commercial Cleaning has been servicing buildings and facilities throughout the metro for over 20 years. JanPro offers a range of disinfecting services that can eliminate 99.9% of germs that spread common illness and contagions. Has no adverse effects to the environment, staff, or visitors. For a no-obligation quote, contact JanPro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com. That's jan-pro.com. Commercial cleaning for your office or facility. It's JanPro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Rudy Beck and Jay Lennox at Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law is available at 636-946-7899. You can contact them through the website if you'd like them to add you onto their waiting list for their next series that they had some webinars. Really fantastic stuff. Their staff can send out an invitation when the next ones are scheduled. One of their legal services that is growing steadily is the Heritage Trust. Protects the inheritance of your children or your grandchildren that they receive from you in situations where there might be bill collectors, bankruptcy, or divorce court. You can call them again at 636-946-7899 and schedule a consultation to discuss this great gift that you can leave for them. Another area that they help are trustees of their deceased clients with is trust administration. For a number of reasons, the trustees often can feel really overwhelmed with the responsibilities they've inherited, especially if it's an emotional time. It's totally understandable. They offer a complimentary meeting and provide an overview of those responsibilities. Some choose to hire them to handle the responsibilities for them. Either way, if you're interested, call 636-946-7899 or visit them online at beckelderlaw.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will show you how to retire in 2 to 5 years. Your age doesn't matter. Turn off the pundits and turn on the passive income. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
This July 4th, tune in to the Boston Pops right from your home for greatest hits, finest moments, guest artists, and a special performance of a stirring salute to America's heroes. From first responders to essential workers, we honor those giving their all in this time of need. A Boston Pops salute to our heroes, presented by Bloomberg and Eaton Vance. Watch and listen July 4th starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on Bloomberg Television. And if you miss it, watch the replay at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk. Powered by Air Comfort Service.
with my headphones on, holding a flat with a song in the back of my soul that no one knows. I just found out a ghost left town, the Queen of California.
Does President Trump believe that it was a good thing that the South lost the Civil War? And then two, is he interested in following NASCAR's example and banning the Confederate flag at his own events?
Well, your first question is absolutely absurd. He's proud of the United States of America.
Good grief. Good grief. Good grief. I still can't even believe that question was asked. Is he glad that the South lost the Civil War? Oh, when you're looking out into the world today and you're going, what's going on out there? That question is all you need to understand. You need crazy questions like that to be asked in a White House press briefing to make the rest of the stuff feel like it's in context of something. My heavens, it's every day I'm shocked, and then I'm shocked that I'm actually still shocked. It's a bizarre loop that we're in. Marc Cox is covering it every day as well, and he joins us.
It's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. We can't stop. It's too dangerous.
I'm the best there is at what I do.
And that's the bottom line.
Marc, thanks for coming on the show with us today. I mean, I don't know if you heard that clip from yesterday's press briefing. It happened in the middle of our show. But is the president of the United States, is Donald Trump okay with the fact that the South lost the Civil War? You've lived a little bit longer than I have, and I'm newer to paying attention to like current modern history. But I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to put this in the confines of what you and I have to do every day. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, Annie, thank you for having me on again. And, I grew up in the time of watching Sam Donaldson stand up in news conferences and scream, pretty tough questions at Ronald Reagan. But they were at least legitimate questions. I mean, about Iran-Contra and issues like that, and the deficit, and Grenada when the U.S. sent troops in there. It wasn't about him questioning whether or not Ronald Reagan wished the South had won the Civil War. That Sam Donaldson would scoff at that question. And I wasn't the biggest Donaldson fan in the world. I said this morning, mainstream journalism in this country is dead. If that guy keeps his job after asking an obnoxious, insulting question like that to the leader of the free world, journalism as we know it, it's dead or on its last breath. I'm with you. I didn't even know where to go with that. I thought Kayleigh McEnany handled it beautifully and just laughed at the guy for asking a question that outrageous.
Marc, we got into talking about the McCloskeys and Kim Gardner going after them last hour, and it was brought up that we don't know exactly the situation with Kim Gardner as well as you do. So I was hoping you could break down, is she a lifer? Like, is she going to have a challenge?
How do we get rid of Kim Gardner?
I don't know if you can get rid of Kim Gardner. I don't know who supports her, but I do know that she has a primary opponent, Mary Pat Carl, who she's like a phantom candidate. She announced she was running. A lot of people were really excited that Kim was going to have a primary challenger. And then crickets. We've heard nothing from her at all. I mean, I've reached out before and invited her onto my show so people could learn something about her. Because believe it or not, there are Republicans in the city of St. Louis, and they may have to go pull a Democrat ballot occasionally to have an impact on the outcome of the election. But as it stands right now, I don't know who defeats Kim Gardner. A Republican can't run in a general primary and beat her. A general election. So she has to be challenged in the primary. And I don't think there's any way to get her out of office unless something really surprising happens in the next month.
I follow the Marc Cox morning show on Facebook, and I would encourage everybody else to do that as well. You found yourself down at one of the statues. Is that correct?
I chose to go down there Saturday to the prayer vigil that was scheduled at noon. Jim Hoft and Hennessy and a few other folks had planned a prayer vigil. I thought I want to go see what's going on. And sure enough, I found myself in the middle of about, probably 150 stark raving lunatics who were down there screaming and ranting and challenging and trying to get in the face of these people who were doing nothing other than praying the rosary. Now, I'm not Catholic, so I couldn't go pray the rosary with them, but I stood there next to them and listened to them quietly pray while people were getting in their face with bullhorns and foghorns and trying to antagonize them into violence. I mean, eventually the police had to line up between the people praying and the antagonists just to keep them separated, not because the Christians were doing anything wrong, but because the other side was clearly trying to goad them into some sort of confrontation. And not a single local media station portrayed that accurately. They all said that there was a clash between the protesters and the religious observers. Well, there was no clash between one side.
Yeah.
It was all clash from the other side.
So I want to, did you see the altercation that Jack Posobiec had at the Emancipation Memorial over the weekend? I don't know if you're familiar with.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of clips from that. Yes.
So we had him on the show yesterday, and he was telling the story of how that went down. And the interesting thing about what he's saying is very similar to what you're saying, which is these people get in your face and they try to get you to react. Then the story starts. That's the moment with which the media picks up and runs with this story. And, you know, when he is a host at One American News, and he went down there to video somebody who runs, I think it's Black DC Tours, was going to give a speech about why the Emancipation Memorial is there. It's paid for by freed slaves. Like, let's talk about history and context about the statue that folks want to tear down. He wanted to cover that, and it turned into what could have been a very terrible situation. I don't know what the answer is to standing up to these people. If you go down and you pray, you get accosted. You don't get your part of the story told. If you go down to cover somebody who's trying to give historical context to a memorial, you don't get your story told. Mark, you've been there and you've seen this happen, and you've seen the media create a different version of a story about what is actually true. Our country is kind of in the balance here, especially in November. What's your recommendation for people who maybe aren't used to showing up at protests or standing up and speaking in that capacity? Is our country at stake?
I think so, Annie. I think people need to not be afraid to turn out at these events, but you also need to understand who's there. Just like Jack found out in D.C., the people getting in his face are trained antagonists. They are unhappy if there's not some event that takes place. They don't want to be blamed for it, but they want to agitate and push and challenge until they get some reaction out of you. In the case Saturday, some water or a drink got thrown on a guy. He lunged forward at somebody who did it, and then everybody jumped on him. So what's the answer to that? More people need to show up and witness what's happening. Because there was a time in this country when journalists were the witnesses and you could trust them to come back and honestly report to you what happened. I came back from that event Saturday. I looked at the headlines on Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 2, and the Post, and all of them had some version of the word clash in them. There were no clashes down there except by one side. And the media will not be honest when reporting on this story. Political correctness has taken over, and it's frightening. I'm with you. If it wasn't for our voice, who would know what happened down there Saturday? And social media, who would know?
Yeah, Mark, I know we're almost out of time, but what do you think is the end of this? I mean, is this going to be what the summer is like? Does it end with the election? If Donald Trump is elected, does it just continue forever? I mean, what do you think? How does this end?
It's a powder keg, and I hate to think what the potential outcome of this might be. I would point out, though, that the McCloskey case is an indication of where this could go. Americans can only be pushed so far. I believe that. The McCloskeys are not conservatives. They're not preppers. They're not gun-toting people who are likely to go march in a parade with an AR-15 on their shoulder. These are trial attorneys who are traditionally very liberal. I think these people have given money maybe to both sides over the years, which is politically smart on their part. They've said they were in support of Black Lives Matter, and they were so afraid in that moment that they carried weapons outside of their house to defend themselves. If they're willing to do that, where do you think the rest of America is? I think we reach a breaking point if the violence continues. Somebody's got to step in and calm this down, and that's going to happen on the other side of the equation. I don't know who that is yet. That's got to happen.
Mark, I wanted to wrap, but then this comment came through from Kevin, who is a frequent commenter and not necessarily a big sympathizer with my beliefs all the time. But he said, Mark paints quite a picture. If it's accurate, the optics of a mass of people kneeling and praying the rosary while another mass of protesters are literally screaming with bullhorns in their faces, that would have been a great picture for video moment for the right. Shots like that can move public opinion. Is the way he's summing up what you saw there, is that accurate? And did the media just miss the opportunity to tell that side of the story?
The video is on my Facebook page, Annie. All he has to do is, Kevin, go there and look at my Facebook page. I posted 2 videos from there. You can see the people, some of them kneeling next to the people screaming, and you can see the line of people praying and the people challenging them, getting up in their faces, pointing at them. The video's right there. The TV cameras could have captured it as well. I didn't get to watch all the coverage. I read some of the stories, but I hope that would have an impact if people would watch it.
Well, we're going to share that, and I'd highly encourage you to go follow the Marc Cox Morning Show on Facebook and see some more of the stuff. Your history of being in journalism serves you very well at times like this, and we're grateful for your ability to share it with us today. Thank you so much, Mark. Good to talk to you.
You bet. Annie, Ryan, talk to you later. Thank you.
Talk to you later. I mean, go see this for yourself. We'll embed it on our blog and share it with you at 971talk.com/Annie, but go like the Marc Cox Facebook page. You will not be disappointed. Let's take a quick break. We can get more phone calls on this. 314-241-9797. I'm still interested in your idea of a solution for right now. And the more rational and calm you are, the more I want to talk to you. And if you're wild and crazy and you're going to make good radio, I'll talk to you too. But
just honesty there. Just
wink,
honesty.
wink, you know. If don't know, I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, maybe. I'm interested in the people who are baffled at what's going on. And Mark was there; he saw it with his own eyes, and you can see it with your own eyes on his Facebook page. There has to be truth telling that exists. Is it up to us to do it? To go, and I'm not saying like me, Annie Frey of the Annie Frey Show. I'm saying like me, Annie, just showing up and going and putting myself in a position to show the world what is actually going on. The media sure doesn't want to do it. 314-241-9797. Call me. Back in a minute.
Hello, beauty. Hello, strength.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Wonder, what's your name?
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I just found out a ghost left town. The Queen of California is stepping down.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with Carrier Cool cash rebates, $50 to $1,650 and 0% financing on qualifying new HVAC systems. For details and all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com.
I'm listening daily, here to help end the stigma of talking about mental health. During these challenging times, listening is fundamental to promoting understanding and healing. Here's licensed therapist Dr. Christine Moutier on how mental health can change.
You know, we have this image that if a person is strong, is accomplished, or whatever your stereotype is, that somehow they'll be immune from a mental health problem, PTSD, or suicide. And the reality is that every single human being is exactly that. We're human, and we all have our physical health, and we all have our mental health. And health can change and can have sort of an ebb and flow to it over time. And we are all susceptible vulnerable to those challenges and can also, frankly, become really smart about what our strengths are and how we cope with what those kind of vulnerable trigger points for us are.
Let's end the stigma of talking about mental health. Find out more at imlistening.org.
Slim 180 can help you lose weight, and they can help you lose weight fast, but they also guide you through the process so that they can help you keep it off. That is a very important thing of losing weight, is making sure that you have created a new lifestyle that you can sustain so that the weight stays off. They set you up with an understanding of how to eat, what to eat, how much to eat. And this is all very, very valuable life stuff, but they get you to the place where you are maintaining very quickly. I can say that myself. With the HCG Rapid Weight Loss Program that is medically supervised at Slim 180, you can lose the weight fast. If you were thinking about getting into your summer form now that we are fully in summer, don't put it off another day. Get into the smaller size section of your closet. I know what that's like. Get into the place where you feel mentally comfortable and happy with yourself and you are healthy by calling 888-754-6111. 888-754-6111. You can visit them online at myslim180.com.
With spending more time at home, you may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from your local CertaPro painters. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated by men and women who live in our community. They are ready to help you and are taking precautions recommended by public health officials. Get a remote or on-site estimate from them today. Start your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
If you have IRS issues, explore all your options. But before you send money to some out-of-town company, make a smart decision and call the Lance Drury Law Firm for a free confidential appointment. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Think about it. What will you do if you send thousands of dollars to an out-of-town company that doesn't resolve your issues, then stops returning your calls? You'd probably call a lawyer. Look, IRS issues are serious legal matters, and the Lance Drury Law Firm can often save you thousands if you call us. We're right here in St. Louis, and since we're a local law firm with an A-plus rating with the BBB, I've already helped hundreds of Missouri residents resolve payroll tax issues, wage levies, bank levies, and tax liens. So call me, a tax resolution attorney, Lance Drury at 314-238-7360, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need the Lance Drury Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Dave Glover Show.
My whole life, I'm 55, it's been fairly predictable. You know, like, okay, I see how life is. I no longer feel like that.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're not bopping your head right now. You're not doing it right. Such a good song. It's kind of one of the.
You know
what?
all the lyrics. Ryan knows every single
I
lyric.
know them in theory. Therefore, I would say, yeah.
He was singing his heart out.
Without knowing the words. I see
Are you gonna be my boy?
You ever heard that Jet song? It goes it's a scat song. Phenomena.
What is that from?
Muppets.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I knew it. Phenomena. Now you're speaking my language.
You ever heard that Jet song? Phenomena. Goes like that. Real good guitar lick.
Man, can we do this for 6 more minutes?
Yes, we can.
Or we could talk about important things. Let's see here. I'm looking at the phone calls as I was putting up there. I want to talk to Doug. Let's talk to Doug first. Hi, Doug. Thanks for calling the show.
Hello?
Hi, Doug.
Hi.
What you think?
My thing calmly is that one thing that I think can happen for us to
fight back is attack the advertisers of the Post-Dispatches, CBS television, NBC, ABC. And I don't just mean not buy the product. I mean write to the advertisers or call the advertisers and let them know. The other side does it all the time, and sometimes it works effectively.
Are you because they're not covering with truth?
They're not telling the truth. They're painting a different picture, like you and Mark were talking about. The very fact that they start at the confrontation level and they don't report the truth. Am I making myself clear?
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. Thank you for the call, Doug.
Well,
there has to be communication that you're not going to stand for it. I am very much for communication directly to the source and reaching out to these entities that aren't. There's no good faith, good faith. You remember intentions. You remember trying to figure out what somebody meant to do instead of the final result of what they did do. If somebody bungles something in a harmless conversation with you and they say something and it comes out way wrong, but they never meant it that way. Doesn't that mean something? Because it doesn't today. And in fact, you can actually not bungle something and still find out that you did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Does it ever stop you? Like, Katie, I know that you get into some conversations. Katie will tell me like, oh, somebody was posting on Facebook and I couldn't help myself. And I'm like, well, it's up to you.
I'm part of the problem.
Your Facebook page. But, are you ever worried you're going to say something wrong? Or do you just think it's worth it to just go in and speak?
No, I am terrified on this radio show that I'm going to say something wrong. I am terrified that I'm going to be writing something wrong on Facebook. I'm terrified to have conversations with people and I'm going to say something wrong that's going to completely offend them and then they won't be my friend again. Like it's all about filtering through the process, especially right now, because everybody's emotions are so high, rightfully so, but emotions are so high and so much is at stake. You can lose a lot of people in your life if you don't take things with care and take things with caution.
Yeah. Let's get to Betty's phone call. Betty is holding on the line. 314-241-9797 if you'd like to give us a call. Thanks for calling the show, Betty.
Hi. God, I have so much to say. I don't know where to begin. I'm appalled by everything that's going on. I'm especially appalled with the media. I would love to know how how are we going to fight back? How do we stand up for ourselves? How do we not accept this behavior that's going on? I was telling the gentleman that answered the phone, I was in a bagel store the other day and I forgot to wear my mask in, which I never do. And I feel like I should have gone back out and gotten it, but I didn't. And I had a woman, 22-year-old girl come up and practically accost me. And she got right in my face. Pardon?
What did she say to you?
Well, I got my coffee and I fixed it and I turned around and she was across the room and she started yelling at me, if you're not going to wear a mask, the least you could do is not touch your face. And I said, well, really, I think you should mind your own business. So I got my bagel and I turned around to leave and she said, you need to lose the gym clothes, you old F&B.
My goodness.
Yikes. And I said, I don't know what I said to her. And she got right in my face. I mean, she was a quarter-inch from my face. And I said, you need to get out of my face. And
if
she
you're such
said,
a threat, why did she get up in your face? That doesn't make any sense.
Right. She goes, you just spit in my face. I said, no, I did not spit in your face. And she stuck her arm in my mouth. And so I left the store and I went across the street. No, it gets better. I left the store and I went across the street and I stopped my car because I was going to the grocery store, and this woman opens my car door and starts screaming at me that I just spit in her daughter's face.
Mm.
So I called the police and they came and I said, this is insanity. And the police officer told the mother that wasn't a smart thing to do. I mean, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Betty, I'll tell you this about the mask thing, and thank you for calling the show. I appreciate it. But I am as frustrated with the people who are like that. If that's how that story went down, that is certifiably crazy that you would be so offended by seeing somebody not wearing a mask that you would get up in their unmasked face and stick your hand in your
Listen here.
I don't know that the neurons are firing correctly. But at the same time, I will also say that in the same category of that crazy lady are the people who are like actively, and I don't know that there are that many of them, going into places without masks to show everybody that they're not wearing masks.
Yes.
Like both of you stop. If you go into a place and you forget to wear your mask, I don't think that you should be accosted. If you have a mask, maybe go get it. If you don't have a mask and you're getting coffee and it's not like mandated by the specific location you're going into, I don't understand the idea of not minding your own business. And if you're so frustrated that you're going, if you see people out and about who are not wearing masks and they are not required to wear those masks, maybe don't go out. Maybe stay inside.
Yeah.
Bill Haley and his Comets.
I just want to play this music for Katie so she can do a little sock hop dancing right now.
Oh, okay.
If you're not seeing Katie's outfit today, how do you dance at a sock hop, Katie? Show us. That's probably exactly how they did it. Keep going. Don't stop.
I want a really cool skirt so I can twirl. That's what I want.
There you go.
No,
Katie, come on, sock hop time. There you go. Where'd you get your scarf? Your little hair ribbon scarfy thing.
Oh goodness. I think I got it from Target. Yeah, I had this. It came in a pack of this.
Tons of people complimenting Katie's cute little outfit. Do you have your sleeves rolled up? You should.
I don't have my sleeve, but I'm wearing this awesome Annie Frey show t-shirt, one that Annie designed herself.
Which is vintage now because it's got our old station logo on, and they're like, we can't sell those anymore.
It's so cool.
And it's the most comfortable shirt ever.
Mm-hmm. It's
if
awesome.
there is somebody out there who is listening right now that prints t-shirts and you want to talk to me about maybe working together, I will design new t-shirts and send people to your business. Can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. Just make me a deal I can't refuse.
Says no.
They probably do say no. We're going to talk to Jim Carafano when we come back, and Katie is going to just dance on the Facebook Live in the break. You're not going to want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this. ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
Frederick Roofing, wherever you live, from Chesterfield to Crestwood, from Teaneck to Ferguson, Lima to Ladue, Town and Country and more. Warson Woods to Winsville, the one you know. Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000. Aren't you tired of hearing ads that say they're the best, they're the experts, blah, 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 just one unsubstantiated claim after another? Well, here are two substantiated claims that actually mean something if you need roof repair or a new roof. With a family-owned business tradition of over 80 years and 80,000 satisfied customers, you can depend on Frederick Roofing, residential or commercial.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. With all the bad news out there, it's easy to miss the good news. Mortgage rates are at historic lows, making now a great time to buy or refinance a home. My customers are locking in the best rates in a generation. Now is the time to use the equity in your home to cash out for a remodel, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or rid yourself of the dreaded PMI. During these volatile times, you need an experienced local loan officer working for you. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you talk to me. Whether you are purchasing or refinancing, I want to help you save money on your home loan. Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. Online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, NMLS 250353.
KFPK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
Lawmakers react to Russia accusations. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. About a dozen House Democrats were briefed at the White House today on intelligence reports Russia paid bounties to the Taliban to kill U.S. troops in Afghanistan.
House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer wants all lawmakers to hear from intelligence officials directly, not from White House staff. And he takes issue with President Trump calling reports of Russian bounties on soldiers in Afghanistan a hoax.
There may be different judgments as to the level of credibility, but there was no assertion that the information we had was a hoax.
National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien issued a statement saying leaks of classified information endanger national security. The White House has said President Trump was not briefed on the intelligence.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington. Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Stephen Hahn says vaccine developers will be expected to study COVID-19 shots in racial minorities, the elderly, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. The U.S. is set to begin a 30,000-person trial of a government-created shot sometime next month. The Supreme Court today with a ruling that will make it easier for religious schools to get taxpayer funding.
The U.S. Supreme Court has struck down a ban on state taxpayer funding for religious schools. The 5-4 ruling that once a state decides to subsidize a private education, it can't disqualify others based solely on religion, and centers around a constitutional amendment in Montana state that barred taxpayer aid to religious schools. The ruling, a victory for school choice supporters and religious groups. 37 states currently have bans on religious school funding.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. U.S. consumer confidence rose in June, reflecting the partial reopening. Experts say rising coronavirus cases could jeopardize future gains. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, if you're looking to cut costs and free up some cash on a monthly basis, start today with Pure Talk USA. Now, the average family of 4 is saving over $800 a year on cell phone service by switching to Pure Talk USA. Now, every plan includes unlimited talk and text. And by the way, it just starts at $20. So switch to Pure Talk today. Just dial pound 250 keyword Pure Radio. Pure Talk USA, simply smarter wireless. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text from Pure Talk USA.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The heavier rain's now shifting off to the east, but clouds will basically control this afternoon. A risk of a thunderstorm, but nothing like we've seen. 85 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy. The evening's fine, but more thunderstorms coming in after midnight. 73 on Wednesday, very humid. Scattered thunderstorms around, especially in the morning on Wednesday. 90 degrees. Limited thunderstorm activity, but very humid Thursday and Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
Hair salon believes men deserve better. It's hairsaloon.com is the website. So excited to be partnering with Hair Saloon because I have two men in my house. One is my husband. One is just growing in to be a little man. 4'11" today at the doctor's office when he went for his checkup. I cannot believe that. He needs to spend some time with his dad. And that is one of the reasons why I appreciate Hair Saloon, because I can send them together and I know that they're going to get a perfect haircut every single time. Mom doesn't have to supervise just the child. I'm not supervising the husband. I would never do that. When you choose Hair Saloon for Men, your experience includes a complimentary beverage, of course, the perfect haircut, a relaxing shampoo, hot towel and mint, complimentary shoe shine. Can't wait for my son to see that for the first time. And from their classic haircut all the way to their signature stress relief service, the Hair Saloon builds a comfortable and relaxing environment. Also, this is so great. This is what everybody needs to understand about Hair Saloon is they care about what matters. 25% discount on services all day and every day for veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Make sure you reach out to Hair Saloon, get yourself an appointment. Make sure you tell them that you heard about them on the Annie Frey Show and let me know on our Facebook page how you did. Can't wait to hear about it. hairsaloon.com.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
From early mornings to late nights, your neighbors are busy creating a better tomorrow. And at Ameren, Illinois, we are accelerating progress. From new natural gas lines in Godfrey to smart technology in Collinsville. Learn more at amerenillinois.com/metroeast. Ameren, Illinois, energy at work.
It's the 20th anniversary of 97.1, and we're celebrating 20 years of great Dave Glover Show moments with Michael's Flooring Outlet.
I got my eBay toilet paper in today. How's the paper, though? It's good. How's the product? It's like good stock. Yeah. All right.
Was it in the original packaging?
It is. Okay. Oh, God, yes.
Well, I know there was a used option, so.
From whom did you buy it, Dave? Was it like a person or a, or
an alien?
Sometimes
I don't know how to answer that, Sue.
Sometimes they have like little businesses on eBay. Somebody who does
still
it all
a person,
the time.
though, Sue.
Or maybe it was somebody who bought too much and
He
said,
bought it from a goblin named the Toilet Paper King.
Well, all right, fine.
TGS 20. Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
You can stream 97.1 FM Talk anytime. Visit radio.com or download the radio.com app for your phone so you can punch a button and be tuned in to 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Look, again,
pointing you back to the fact that there's no consensus within the intelligence community. And I would also note that for those of you that are always taking the New York Times at their word, they erroneously reported that the president was briefed on this. He was not briefed on this, and neither was the vice president. So before buying into full-fledged a narrative from the New York Times that falsely stated something about the president, that you would wait for the facts to come out. And note, once again, there's no consensus in the intel community. And in fact, there are dissenting opinions from some within it.
It's Kayleigh McEnany trying to set the record straight where, you know, you and I are looking for information. Stories come out, they get put through the political laundry machine before they ever reach our ears, and you don't know what to believe. I think that causes quite a lot of people to just turn it all off. And then you become less informed and probably more partisan. It doesn't help anything. And then you look out your window one time and you see the world has gone mad, and you're saying, how the heck did we get here? It's hard to pay attention today because the news is so complicated. It's like you have to have a master's degree in knowing who is providing what information, where, what are their sources? Okay, they don't cite their sources. They say they have sources. It's complicated and it's frustrating. And we get to the point where we just kind of opt out of it. It's not the solution, but it is, I think, in many people's cases, the current scenario. Each week, we have a great guest on with us, Jim Carafano, who joins us from the Heritage Foundation. He's an expert in national security and foreign policy challenges facing the United States. Jim, great to have you back. Hope you're doing well.
I am doing well because I'm on the Annie Frey show.
Yes, I love to hear that. Better. Yeah, is that fake news? I hope that's not fake news. We're looking at all of this stuff that's happening on a national scale. We're looking at people, unrest over these statues. We're looking at COVID cases spiking. But meanwhile, there's a lot of other things going on right now. Like, for instance, Iran issuing an arrest warrant for the president of the United States. What in the world is going on here?
Yeah, so many things I would like to talk about on this Russia bounty story. But actually, the Iran news is actually a great place, an important place to start. So Iran has issued an arrest warrant, not just for the president, for like 30 American officials for the death of General Soleimani. So to remind you, General Soleimani was the head of the Quds Force, which is the paramilitary arm of the Iranian government. They actually run around the region fomenting violence, all kinds of illegal acts and terrorism. He was actually in Iraq, in a foreign country, plotting terrorist attacks against the United States government. And what the president did was treat him like any other terrorist, state-sponsored or otherwise. He ordered an attack on him because he was a direct threat to Americans. From an Iranian perspective, this is just politics. It's posturing. They're going after Trump. So we can put all that aside. But this actually links to the Russia story, because the whole premise of the New York Times story was the president knew that the Russians were trying to kill American soldiers, and he didn't care because he was being nice to Putin or whatever. So let's look at what we actually know about how this president operates, because the Iran instance is the closest thing we have to that. So in this case, the Iranian government was directly trying to kill Americans, which, by the way, they also tried to do under Obama and Bush. But look what Trump did. When Trump got confirmed intelligence about what was going on, and the intelligence was actionable and he could do something about, what did he do? He took the guy out. And what's really funny is many of the same people who are attacking the president now were the same ones who attacked him for going after Soleimani. Which really leads you to believe that this has nothing to do with really getting to the fact. Because the reality is when American soldiers are threatened, this president has stood up for the soldiers and had their back. I mean, and that's, I think, how we should start when we look at the Russia story.
Jim Carafano is leading expert in national security and foreign policy at Heritage. Jim, Putin and Trump the narrative has been that these two guys are in bed together. No way. Now Putin is paying to have American troops killed in Afghanistan because they're enemies. So the narrative seemed to make absolutely no sense given whatever day it is. What in your expertise does Putin actually think of America under Trump?
Well, he wants America to fail, and Trump is actually a big problem. So here's the thing about this story is, do we disbelieve that the GRE, which is the paramilitary arm of the Russian government, put out bounties on Americans? We don't think that's impossible. The Soviets used to do that stuff all the time. Putin uses many of the exact same tactics. So we don't doubt it might not be true. Why would they do that? Because in Afghanistan, they'd be better off with a stable Afghanistan, because Putin actually wants America to fail. So the reality is Putin treats us like an enemy, and he treats Trump like an enemy. And while Trump is nice to him, he's nice to him in a way that every other leader is nice to him. They'd like to offer an off-ramp for him to stop. Macron recently, for example, offered to have two talks with Putin. Nobody accused him of treason. So I think, to your fundamental point, Russia sees the United States as an enemy, and it treats us as such. U.S. policy actually treats Russia like an enemy.
I want to ask you a little bit about how Adam Schiff is talking here. Listen to what he says here.
I shared the concern at the White House today that I think many of us have, which is there may be a reluctance to brief the president on things he doesn't want to hear. And that may be more true with respect to Putin and Putin's Russia than with respect to any other subject matter. Many of us do not understand his affinity for that autocratic ruler who means our nation ill.
So Adam Schiff here is saying that the president has an affinity for the autocratic ruler in Russia, Putin. And I was listening today to a pundit on Fox News who is a progressive say that the president needs to come out and say exactly where the American position is on Russia. It kind of makes me chuckle inside, because if you look at what the president has done with sanctions and the way Donald Trump has employed policy against Russia, if you looked at what has actually been done, you would see how this president feels about the Russian leader. It seems to me that it's the leftist media that is out there right now that is constantly trying to put doubt in Americans' mind as to where America's position is in proximity to Russia.
So listen very closely to Schiff's words. Right. And the contrast with the New York Times. The New York Times says the president was briefed, which makes it sound like, oh, he didn't do anything about it. Now, we get information the president was briefed. So what does Schiff do? He says, oh, well, the president probably wasn't briefed because he doesn't want to hear that. Does he have any evidence for that? No. So there's a link here. I mean, these are clearly arguments designed to indict the president. They're not arguments actually based on fact and U.S. policy.
Jim Carafano, how is all of this information constantly getting out about our national security? I mean, do we actively have people in our government that are working to get this stuff out to make Trump look bad? I mean, that's what it seems like.
Well, that's obviously true, because we know for a fact there was intelligence gathered about this. And there is an ongoing intelligence assessment going on about it. I mean, I think it's the whole point is, if the president had confirmable action on intelligence, he would act on it, but he doesn't, because the process is still going on. So obviously somebody leaked that, but which is not right, because it's classified intelligence, so somebody committed a crime. But what's equally bad is that both media and critics and his political opponents are actually trying to use this against the president. Let's go back and look at the New York Times article for just a second. They said the president was briefed. Does anywhere in that article say we called the White House and we asked them if the president was briefed, and they declined to comment, or they said no? What the New York Times is doing is the opposite of what people like Woodward and Bernstein did back in the day, even though Woodward and Bernstein are the first to defend these journalists. When Woodward and Bernstein went to their source of, Deep Throat, the deputy director of the FBI, they didn't just run out and publish. They actually try to confirm everything he said. The New York Times is not doing that. What they're doing is they're taking whatever they get, and then they're creating a story around that to attack the president. That's not journalism. That's advocacy. Well, it is a kind of journalism. It's not objective journalism like we would expect from the New York Times or in the days, or the Washington Post in the days of Woodward and Bernstein. They are literally taking leaks and using them to attack the president, and they're doing it deliberately.
I wanted to ask you real quick before we let you go about the EU reopening its borders. The United States still not included in those 14 nations that can travel freely. Is this something that is a surprise to you, or is this to be expected?
No, I think it's to be expected. Look, we did it to them. I, for one, think that public health should be in the hand of governments, and governments should make the decision that's in the best interest of their people. So whereas would have, any European that whined about the United States closing our borders, I would say we had a perfect right to do that, and the Europeans have a perfect right to do that. Here's the problem with the Europeans. If you look at countries like Italy, for example, 65% of their business is tourism. At some point, the lack of American tourists is really going to hurt European economic recovery. So that's one they kind of got to figure out.
Yeah, and time will certainly tell. Jim, thank you so much for coming on with us today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. We look forward to talking to you again next week.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, absolutely. At JJ Carafano on Twitter, heritage.org. I always appreciate the directness with which he approaches truth, and he is able to weed out the fake news in the garden of information very, very quickly. And when Stephen Moore is on with us, he did it again. He did it again yesterday. He asks me a question. Mm-hmm. He's like laying information on me and I'm soaking it in. And then he'll be like, Annie, do you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I know the answer to this question. And I'm usually like 70% confident that I know what the answer is, but I don't want to look stupid in front of you because you're tuning into the show to be entertained and to hear the information that usually I have, 3 articles or something in front of me on screens and in printouts. And Stephen Moore's like, Annie, you know what the interest rate is for 25-year-olds in the new home? I'm like, I don't know. Is it 42%?
Annie, which Middle Eastern country has the Wailing Wall? We all know this. What is it?
Yeah, obviously you know this. Tell the people. Jim Carafano, like, he'll bust you if you put something out there that is just like ridiculously jaded because of the news source you got it from. We call you out on it. So you got to be on your game with these heritage folks. But I appreciate him, and I met him, I don't know, it was like 4 years ago or something, and he's always been so very kind to our show. You know who we haven't talked to in a long time, Katie?
Who?
Our boy Hans.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's been
I miss him.
A few weeks.
Let's get him on the show tomorrow.
Sure.
I love talking to Hans von Spakovsky, especially because a little Inside Annie Frey Show trivia. I started my first time ever on the air was with the always kind Marc Cox on the Marc Cox Show that was on Sunday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on 97.1. Jeff, our boss at the time, said, Annie, I want to try something. Why don't you just go sit in the studio with Marc? And Marc's the sweetest guy. He'll take care of you. And he was so correct on that. And the first time that I had to fill in for Marc was the most nervous I have ever been in my life for anything ever. Childbirth? No. Marriage, standing up in front of people and getting married didn't bother me at all. Filling in on the Marc Cox Show and holding that burden in my hand, sink or swim, terrifying. Mm-hmm. And I had, of course, Hans von Spakovsky on my show the very first time. And I was like, is this a real name? Am I being punked? And then this guy comes on and he's so brilliant. And every time I've spoken to him, I don't think he knows that he was like on my first show ever that I did by myself.
We should tell him.
Yeah,
we should let him know.
He'll be like, oh, I remember. It was a train wreck. Just so you know, you're still making that up to me. So let's get Hans on again. Always good to talk to Jim Carafano. Quick break. When we come back, we can take some more phone calls, 314-241-9797. And we want more jokes here. Let's see. Make me laugh.
What's the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? One is really heavy and the other is a little lighter.
These noises. I guess that's a hippo. I don't think it's the little lighter. Oh, thank you, Google, for making me laugh. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
They're corn farmer John. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Good old Rocky Top.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election. Brought to you by Grasser Electric. Don't be left in the dark. Make the right call. Grasser Electric on 97.1 FM Talk.
Marc Cox here. Guys, let Victory Men's Health help you regain your vitality by optimizing your hormones, vitamins, and sexual health. Victory Men's Health has the most cutting-edge technologies to treat ED. They have wave therapy. Listen, this is the biggest advancement for men with ED since the launch of Viagra. That's pretty incredible. They do the treatments in their office. Victory Men's Health offers wave therapy in both their Illinois and Missouri location. Check them out online today at victorymenshealth.com.
Hey friends, it's Annie, and I've been in touch with the team here at Lakeside Renovation and Design. As an essential business, these guys continue to work and ensure their homeowners are being taken care of. They do all of this while practicing safe social distancing and following all of the proper guidelines to keep a safe work environment. Many people are concerned with inviting others into their home at this time, which is why they've begun virtual appointments. If you need new siding, new windows, or even decks, porches, or screened rooms, they can get measurements from the outside and put a bid together just for you while keeping themselves and your family safe. 636-978-5000, lakesiderenovationanddesign.com.
As your employees are transitioning back to work, you want to provide a safe environment for them to work in. Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning has been servicing buildings and facilities throughout the metro for over 20 years. Jan Pro offers a range of disinfecting services that can eliminate 99.9% of germs that spread common illness and contagions. Has no adverse effects to the environment, staff, or visitors. For a no-obligation quote, contact Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com. That's jan-pro.com. Commercial cleaning for your office or facility. It's Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com.
Yes, we are no doubt facing uncertain times. But as a realtor with almost 20 years of experience, I can tell you when someone buys or sells a home, it is always uncertain. A divorce, job loss, or selling the home of a loved one who recently passed. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through your uncertain times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and we do all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
As temperatures heat up, so are the savings. During our Legacy Box Cyber Summer Sale, we're offering 50% off. Legacy Box is the best way to preserve your home movies and photos.
Legacy Box is one of the most meaningful things you can do for your family. Plus, we've made it simple and safe, and it's currently on sale.
Legacy Box is an all-in-one mailed kit to having your aging media converted to digital. Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film reels, and photos.
Our staff of over 250 professionals digitize everything by hand right here in the United States. In a few weeks, you get everything back on DVD or digital, ready to watch and enjoy.
We've helped over 850,000 families relive their glory days. Get started today rescuing your trapped videotapes and photos.
Shop our Cyber Summer Sale to save 50% off today. Buy now and save big, and send in your media when you're ready. Visit legacybox.com/gift. That's legacybox.com/gift for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/gift.
If it's happening here. In the world, the country, and the community. St. Louis's own 97.1 FM Talk.
Connection is made.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Tuesday. Still at that point in my life where I have to look at the date on my calendar, on my computer to know what day it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still like pouring rain wherever y'all are?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It was crazy last night by my house.
Yeah.
My house was shaking.
5 people and a dog sleeping in my bedroom last night.
Wow.
Do your kids come sleep in your room when it storms? Do they wake up, Ryan?
No. And we just gave my 3-year-old what we call his short rail so he can get out of his crib on his own. And he's staying in there.
Chilling?
We're like, dude, you can get up in the morning now. You understand?
Yeah,
He's
you can
like,
come get me.
I'm waiting for mommy. Okay.
Appreciate that.
All of our kids come and sleep in our room. And it's really, I don't know if it's good or bad parenting, but we're like, sleep on the floor. Bring a pillow and a blanket. You can sleep on the floor. If that makes you go back to sleep,
why not?
Oh my gosh. I jumped up at 1:00 in the morning because, I mean, our house was just like rattling, and I have never experienced something like that before. And I grabbed David. I'm like, is this an earthquake? What's
No, it's
going
just a storm.
on?
It's been so long since it's rained.
Yeah.
I love rainy days. I probably more than the normal person should. It's funny because normal life, Annie, is going in a billion places at one time. Like, I'm only ever looking 2 hours in advance. A couple weeks ago, I was looking through my calendar and I had to go back to look at something in January. And my calendar has like 3 or 4 somethings on every single day in January and in February. And then you get into the last few months and it's just very sporadic. There isn't a whole lot going on. And I am not missing that old lifestyle. But rainy days to me generally cause me to slow down. And so I am very grateful for that. But we have had ridiculously gorgeous weather for quite some time. But to me, the rain breaking up the monotony, like, of all the things that we have going on. And I'm like, well, the weather's too nice. It just needs to be awful for a day. I'm happy to have this. I love rainstorms.
Yeah, now that you say it, I haven't thought about it, but we really haven't had much rain this summer at all. I haven't heard him saying we've had a drought or anything, though.
Yeah.
When was the last time you remember a storm?
Good question. At least a month.
I don't know. I do appreciate it though today. I'm not typically on that bandwagon with you, Annie, but today I do like this rainy weather.
Yeah. You're affected heavily by rainy weather. Like Katie, it was, so does it 3 days is too many or 2 in a row?
2 in a row. 2 in a row. I'm already like, I feel really weird. I start to get in a very weird funk. I don't know why that is, but weather really affects me.
Does it affect you, Ryan?
If it's too long, yeah. I mean, after like a 4 or 5 days, I can start to be kind of down over it. Does it affect you?
No.
I mean, you're the opposite.
He's
like after
whatever.
5 days of rain, though, would you not be like, okay, I want to see some sun?
I wouldn't mind seeing sun. It just doesn't hamper my lifestyle terribly much. When I am doing the Slim 180 diet, which I'm not doing anymore because I've lost the weight and very excited about that, I run a lot. I haven't gone back out and started my running again since I've been down, which I need to do because it's probably going to be easier 16 to 17 pounds down. But most of my life is spent inside doing stuff. I have a treadmill inside. I have, like I can work out inside. I hang out with the kids. What we will do is, generally speaking, the boys have baseball 2 or 3 days a week. So the girls and I will go swimming. So I guess if I felt like I needed to go to the pool and I couldn't, maybe that would be what would kind of be a bummer for me. But it just gets to the pool. I don't know. Just
I'll tell you what.
I like the slowdown. So
I am starting a diet tomorrow, July 1st.
Can we talk about it?
We can. It's the full month. It is no sugar on this diet for a full month.
Which is really all you eat.
It really is. Sometimes I look back at dinner and I'm like, did I eat anything other than a Snickers?
Circus peanuts from the toilet.
So, yeah. You hide them around because you need them.
You know, folks.
You know.
But I really think that I'm apologizing to you both ahead of time that I'm going to go through detox, I think, on this probably for the next at least week. Maybe I'll find equilibrium sometime mid next week on this, but it is going to be bad.
Can you talk to us like about what you're doing or why you're doing it?
A little bit. So it's related to, I had this surgery on my stomach like 3-4 weeks ago now. And I'm trying to fix some things going on in my stomach. And I'm trying to sort of like attack them all at once because there's several different issues. And one of them is getting rid of this, like, whatever, like the good bacteria and the bad bacteria that they say you have. Like, I need to get rid of the bad. And they say it's because I keep eating so much sugar, like I'm feeding it. So I have to do this diet.
Have you
like
imagined that situation in your stomach as like a little sugar eating man yet?
Oh yeah. Every time I'm eating sugar, now that I found that out,
like?
I'm like, oh no, this is feeding that little green.
Have you named it?
No, I haven't named it. because I picture
But it is
men.
a
You're
little
like,
green thing.
because that would be weird.
Come on.
I have standards, Andy.
The
Wouldn't
bacteria
do
that I
something
picture
weird
as a
and
cartoon
ridiculous
in my
like
stomach.
Have you ever gone on a diet before? I'm sorry to interrupt. Have you ever done something like that before?
So here's the really weird thing. I have tried.
People
to
are
limit-
imagining you
Yes.
like all you do is eat a sugar case. Like, it's hard to tell. Have you ever dieted? In your
Right,
life?
and- And if they're just listening on the radio, have never tuned in online and seen that I'm
Just
not
stick with
like,
your imagination. Don't tune into
crazy
Facebook
big.
Live or Andy Fry YouTube page. Just keep with your imagination.
They're picturing me like walking into the room. Hello, I'm Ron Reynolds. I'm here for your candy.
Have you
but-
ever seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
Have you
I'm
seen
exactly like
Spaceballs?
Han Solo, is what you're gonna say, right?
Yeah. Pizza the Hut.
That's Spaceballs.
We're going to send out for you. I said Spaceballs.
Oh, I thought you said Star Wars.
I said Star Wars and then I said Spaceballs.
Yes, I am exactly like Jabba the Hutt / Pizza the Hut.
With pepperoni and cheese just dripping on you.
That is the grossest
going to
thing.
send out for you.
And he's got this tongue always sticking out too. I'm like, put that thing away. Put it away. No one wants to see that.
So I
gotta
tried
watch
to do a
Spaceballs.
diet of limiting my sugar a while back, and it was a diet I just made up because anytime I wanted sugar, I would just go buy like candy or ice cream or something because I wanted it because I'm an adult and I can do that. And
No,
so I
because
made
you're
this-
an adult, you don't do that. That's what you
don't
do when you're like a what they would refer to as a young man.
I've never gotten
Which
over
man?
like, oh my gosh, I'm in college now.
I can make all my decisions by myself. Watch me go.
A whole plate of butterscotch pudding? Don't mind if I do. But so I did this diet that I made up called the Buy It diet, that I could only eat candy that I didn't buy. So I couldn't just go get myself something. And it actually worked. It limited the amount of candy and sugar that I was eating because I had to have stuff that other people had given me.
Did you
Christmas
steal
was
stuff?
wonderful
I
from
didn't
you,
buy
Andy,
it.
because you gave me all those Twixes.
I did. I gave you a whole
Yeah.
6-foot sleeve of Twixes.
Yeah.
You're like,
I
the
don't know
diet
what you're talking about.
gives.
That's right. Yeah. So that was a huge day for me. And it continued to keep giving throughout the year. But now it's like, okay, I've tried all these things. I got to actually completely cut sugar to really do it right. And so that's what July is going to look like. And it is going to be terrible for you and for me and
So-
everyone listening.
Legit, like in any given day of Ryan eating, what kind of sugar intake do you have? Just like the average day.
Right now, I'm
Not the
drinking
worst
a sweet
day.
tea.
Not the worst. You
which
drink
is
sweet tea?
Sweet tea and soda. So I'll have one of those during the show usually. Then after the
Sugared
show,
soda.
Yeah, like not a Zevia soda or something.
Oh,
You know, those
stevia?
stevia.
You don't
sodas.
even know what fake sugar is called.
Well, they're called Zevias. The soda brand is.
Never heard of it.
So after
Have you heard
the
of that,
show-
Katie?
I've never heard of that. I think we were
Okay.
talking about the artificial sugar.
We are. I might have a bag of gummy bears after the show just for fun, just to raise my spirits a little bit.
We can. Ryan used to have when you guys were in the office with me. You had a snack drawer. And there was
There's a lot of feelings coming out right now.
Yes, I promised I wouldn't get emotional.
Who knew we said gummy bears and I just lost it?
I'm so upset. What was in your snack? You had so much stuff, candy, all different. Yes.
Mallow milk.
Yeah, there was a big box of Valo milk from the Glover show they'd given me since they stole mine and ate it and had to pay me back. And so I had those, and I had your Twixes that you gave me. I had a gummy set, the sushi gummy set that Gabe Pfeiffer had given me for a while.
The sushi gummy set.
Yeah,
It sounds as if it's a collector's item.
it was. It was a
And then you
work
ate
of
it.
art, and I ate it. Actually,
Do
it
you
didn't
still?
last long.
When was the last time you were at your desk?
Like sitting there,
No,
or just
physically in the office at your where you could have gotten something out of that drawer.
about a week and a half ago.
Are there still treats in there?
There are sugar babies in there.
I should look on break.
Yeah, you can. There's sugar babies in there.
What's a sugar baby?
It's those little like the sugar daddy is the one on the stick. It's like a big caramel.
same
like,
thing. It's just
a little nugget of it.
I'm gonna go look on break.
Daddy.
Yeah, go ahead. You can have some.
Baby.
I used to. I mean, it just is like it's insane because you would open up that drawer and that was like a 10-year-old's dream.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa,
I think that's what we're getting at.
all the candy ever.
No, I think
So
we
how are-
drilled
so-
down and landed.
So are you going to limit like your carb intake too, and not just processed sugar?
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Like I can only basically eat meat and some
fat?
vegetables and nuts. That's pretty much it. So,
Have you been told what you're allowed to eat, or is this like the buy it diet that you made up yourself?
no,
Or
this is a real one. It's called the SIBO, SIBO diet. It's probably kind of like the paleo thing. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it's similar.
Good luck. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
Watch it happen live here on the Annie Frey Show, Facebook Live and YouTube Live, because
I'm telling you, this time tomorrow, you're going to see it in my face. Like I'm going to be sweating.
how much sugar do you normally have before by this time in the show? You
Not
said you have
a
a
ton,
sugar
just
drink.
just a soda.
Do you eat cereal?
Once in a while, but not for breakfast.
As a snack.
Yeah.
As a snack, a midnight snack.
Hey, it's midnight.
That would
Need
be
some
ridiculous.
sugar.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will wrap up the show here with Tony Colombo, Signs of the Apocalypse, as usual. Always great to have Tony come in here. And he'll join us here on the Facebook Live as well. So stick around. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
It's getting so lonely inside this bed.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Oh, if I should lick my wounds and say it was me instead.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for free HVAC estimates, visit aircomfortservice.com. Talked to Stewie yesterday, and boy, he really loves the Annie Frey Show listeners. And that's because so many of you have called to talk to Stewie about a refinance right now or about a home purchase that the Annie Frey Show audience is really just knocking it out of the park in June. I'm so excited to be able to bring you Stewie. I have used him myself. So this is a resounding endorsement of a big product that I am endorsing that I have, in fact, used myself. And I am so grateful every month that I did because my monthly payment reflects it. We didn't take any more money out of our home. We lowered our payment, and we are very grateful to do that because we were able to use that money in other places where we could pay down some debt. So if you are looking to do a refinance, you can ask about the Bank Buster loan. These rates are ridiculous, and they are on up to 30-year loans. You can also talk to him about the bagel loan. He's even told me about people who have used both. I don't know what kind of voodoo that is, but he does. And that's why you call him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Call my friend Stewie. You will not be disappointed. He will help you out in the best way for you. It's the whole foundation of his business. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm in St. Louis. I meet regularly with people who haven't filed tax returns in years. Did you know that if you have unfiled tax returns, you can be subject to jail time? That's right. The maximum penalty can be 1 year of jail time for every year of unfiled returns. So liens, wage garnishments, and bank levies should be the least of your worries if you have unfiled returns. Instead, you should get straight with the IRS and file those returns as soon as possible. This is true even if you can't pay what you owe. Call me today, Lance Story, a local tax resolution attorney who knows how to resolve your tax problems before they turn into a prison sentence. And don't worry about not having records or receipts. The Lance Story Law Firm can help you find the information you need to get the returns prepared and filed. As an attorney, I am trained to put pieces of your tax puzzle together for you. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Story Law Firm. Call us at 314-238-7360 or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. If your trees are looking sick or if you have insects that aren't welcome in your landscape, Hansen's can help. Our plant healthcare program offers tree and shrub fertilization as well as pest management to maintain a great-looking landscape. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now, but all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting, 314-373-1598, Compass Retirement Solutions, 314-373-1598. 888-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
Dr. Steve Harvey, board-certified psychiatrist and regional medical director for one of the top neurohealth centers in the region, hosts the Medical Beat each Saturday, 10 a.m. right here on 97.1 FM Talk. Tune in for the latest conversations regarding all things medical, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
If you're like me, you've been spending a lot of time at home. You may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from CertaPro Painters. They make your experience worry-free, starting with a free on-site or remote estimate. It's your choice. I did one from the comfort of my own home. It's quick, safe, and easy. You can trust them to get the job done right. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
If you are as appalled by abortion as I am, this is the reason that you have got to vote for Donald Trump in the election in November. Period. End of discussion.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
How many miles must it take to break through? How many hours must we wait through to hear the truth?
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Ryan, a lot of people here suggesting ways to help lose weight, and a lot of people are suggesting good kinds of coffee. Do you drink coffee?
No, I don't drink coffee or eat dark chocolate, so it kind of kills both of those.
He doesn't like hot, right? You don't like hot beverages, correct?
None?
Mostly, I can drink some, like cappuccino every now and then, but mostly I like cold. Yeah,
Cappuccino is usually sugar laden.
that's right. I mean, I don't really care what it is as long as it's got a ton of sugar in it.
It's like coffee flavored sugar.
Yeah, that's fine.
Katie, are you drinking a lot of coffee? Are people still making coffee there?
Yes, Stell is still making coffee every single day, and I have about 3 cups. I've upped the ante over here. I usually had about 1 or 2 at most, but now I'm doing 3.
My beverage intake is weird these days. I have a cup of coffee, and then I have a Yeti full of ice water, and then I have instead of my normal Slim 180 energy drink, I have a 44-ounce Diet Mountain Dew, which is really a terrible choice, but sometimes terrible choices need to be made.
I want a fountain drink so badly.
Is Tony Colombo in studio with us?
He's here.
Let's get to some
Here
signs
I
of the
am.
apocalypse. Hi,
Now, signs of the apocalypse on the Annie Frey Show. You gonna put me in this video or not?
You're not there.
It says I'm backstage.
Well,
he's backstage. He's got a backstage.
I'm backstage.
pass.
Only the host can see me.
What?
The
Well,
host
the
may
host
add you into the
cannot.
broadcast at any time. Be ready. I'm ready.
I am
stalling,
ready, talking about my drinks. Like people actually give a crap about what I'm drinking.
This thing has been. It's been telling me to be ready for 3 minutes now, and I'm ready.
End it and restart it while you're doing signs of the apocalypse, like a real pro.
I can do that. I will ask this though. Before I start Signs of the Apocalypse, I did join the conversation a few seconds in, and did my right in saying that Ryan was looking for diets or possible ways
Ryan's
to
gonna
lose
go on a
weight
diet.
while eating as much sugar as possible?
No, that's the
No,
exact
that's
opposite.
why Ryan is going.
Oh,
on
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Apparently, he's feeding a little man in his tummy too much sugar. That's what we've.
Yeah.
All right, I stopped it and restarted it, and I'm backstage again. Only the host
No,
can see me. They may add you at any time.
No, you're not.
Be ready.
No, you're not.
Exclamation point.
I don't see you.
Technology!
Yeah, we were doing so well. I'll send you the link again while you do signs. Go for it.
It says be ready. I'm ready.
I'm
send me the link again.
ready too. It's great radio.
Remember last week when I did the story about the
Hey, what are you
different
drinking
types
these
of
days?
hand sanitizer?
Hand sanitizer.
I want to get as much. That's where this is going.
Oh no!
I had as much sugar as possible to make it palatable. So you guys remember that story I did about the different types of hand sanitizers? There's scams out there. These companies that are making things that they are are branding as hand sanitizer, but it's actually very dangerous for you. And the reason that they were dangerous is that these companies were using this methanol as an ingredient in the hand sanitizer.
Whoops.
3 people in New Mexico have died from drinking hand sanitizer with methanol.
In New Mexico?
In New Mexico.
Come on, people.
3 others are in critical condition. So this is aside from the story last week about the scam companies. This is just don't drink hand sanitizer.
Yeah. How about that?
Whether
folks?
it's the right kind or not.
Let's not try it out.
Do you remember that story I did about about people inhaling hand sanitizer, using it as hand soap?
Dumb.
All those types of things. Yeah.
We're living in the same planet.
People are drinking hand sanitizer thinking that is somehow going to cleanse their insides, and it does not do that.
Very big.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. We got it.
Need a new link. Thanks for watching on YouTube and Facebook, because now you see Tony's pretty face.
There I am.
Very beardy.
Here we go. This is definitely a weird moment in history, and I guess some people want to be reminded of it every day for the rest of their lives. The baby website, The Bump, just posted a list of the 100 most popular baby names of 2020 so far, and Corona has made the top 100. Wow.
I don't know why you would want to do that to a kid. Like, if you're going to commemorate something that was really exciting, like, I could understand if the St. Louis Cardinals win the World Series and you want to name your daughter Molina. I can see that, but why would you want to name your child after a pandemic? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Doesn't roll off the tongue. This
Top
is my
100.
daughter, Corona.
It's those old biblical names where, if you were having a bad week, you'd name your child like Anguish.
Like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here.
I know. Thank you.
I can share looks with you
Anyway,
now.
we'll see how it goes. So far, what are we, halfway through the year, and Corona has already cracked the top 100.
Halfway today.
It's unbelievable. A woman in Wisconsin made a
Hey.
comment on Facebook.
Wow. Hey, girl.
Hey, halfway home.
Hey, you guys. Hey.
Halfway through the worst year in humanity.
Did you hear that, St. Louis?
Is there a part of your brain that thinks that when 2021 gets here, it's going to be over? Because there's a part in my brain that's like, once we get done with 2020, we'll be in the clear, which is not scientific at all. It's really actually dumb to think that way, but I'm kind of just holding on to it.
So I'm not typically very optimistic, but I do believe that we're gonna hit rock bottom at some point, and then things will start to turn around. I just
So you're saying we're not there yet?
No, unfortunately, no.
Andy, I think there's something psychological to that everybody is agreeing that 2020 is a weird, bad year.
You have to know there's an end.
Bad year.
Yeah.
It like mentally gives you the concept that this is a finite amount of time. It's
even
not,
worse.
people. It could get worse and continue to get worse.
It's even worse for a woman named Cheryl in Wisconsin who made a
Good
comment
seg.
on Facebook saying that her husband went on a business trip and caught an STD from his face mask.
What?
Oh, yeah, that
No,
happens.
no, you're doing something wrong.
She believes
Not sure where to start.
her husband when he says, I went on this business trip and I came back with this disease, and he said, I got it from the mask. And she's believing it.
darn mask.
She's in this forum on Facebook, kind of like this anti-mask discussion, and she's like, and get this. Here's how bad masks are. Not only are they not saving people, my husband went on a business trip. They made him wear his mask, and he came back with the clap. And so everybody else in this conversation is like telling her, like, sweetie, no, don't let him get away with this.
Oh,
And she's
honey,
like,
no.
no. He said that a doctor told him that he got it from his mask.
Oh my gosh. I feel
That's-
badly for that person.
That's what he gets for using one of those homemade ones instead of an N95.
What got you, Annie? The clap part?
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Oh boy.
Mm-mm.
Honey, we need to sit down.
Poor
Mm-mm.
Sharon and poor Corona.
Cheryl.
Poor
Cheryl in
Cheryl.
Wisconsin.
Sharon's fine, Katie. Leave her out of this.
Sharon.
And
Poor
people are-
Sharon
it's
and
hel-
Cheryl
You
and
can look the
Corona.
story up on the internet and you can read like the discussion board where people are like, "No, I think you have some issues that you need to work out." And she's like, "No, a doctor.
Our
told him.
marriage is fine.
A doctor
Leave me
told him.
alone.
Masks
The
or
mask
not?
gave it to him."
The mask.
Man, signs of the apocalypse heavy today. The coronavirus treatment drug remdesivir by Gilead Sciences is going to cost $3,120 for people with health insurance. Gilead will make all the profit on the drug, even though it was developed with at least $70 million of taxpayer money.
Oh.
The company disclosed its pricing for the COVID-19 treatment, saying it will charge $3,120 for patients with private health insurance. Patients who are covered by the government, like Medicaid, will be charged $2,300, just over $2,300 for a typical treatment. The amount that patients pay out of pocket depends on the insurance, income, and other factors.
Does it?
That makes me so mad.
If it says that it's charging $3,100 for people who have insurance, is that what they're billing? But that's not going to be the
That's what they're
patient's response. Well, I mean,
no,
but
not necessarily the patients, but that's what they're going to make from it after the insurance company pays their part of it and you pay your part of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Developed with $70 million of taxpayer money and they're getting all the profits.
President Trump just won. Wasn't it a Supreme Court case that was about hospital transparency and pricing? We need that so badly.
Desperately.
Where we have an itemized bill that is very in plain sight, explaining to you that you just paid $16 for an Advil. We need to be able to see that type of stuff because, again, same thing with college education. We never talk about why things cost so ungodly much.
Yeah.
We only talk about how to pay for it with your tax dollars.
Right.
Let's talk about why it costs so much and make it not be like highway robbery for people who need this. It's
It's
like
a big problem there.
it's awful.
Before you go, Tony,
Yeah.
Kayleigh McEnany is on one right now, and I don't know what she's saying, but her facial expressions for the last 5 minutes, I don't think I have ever seen her look this stern. She
Love
is
her.
on one right
Let's
now.
put it up. Let's find the post and put it up on the blog when we get done. 971talk.com/Amy.
All right, let's get back into a more traditional sign of the apocalypse. This is a story that made this segment. These are the types
This
of
is
stories
about STDs
that
again?
made these
I
this segment
hope
famous.
so.
A drunk woman crashed her pickup truck after picking up a drunk friend who had just crashed his pickup truck.
Oh no,
Ah.
people! Seriously, since I got it up, I mean, why not?
38-year-old guy named Frederick
That's not
Turner
how any of this
was out
works.
drinking and driving in his pickup truck in Georgia last week, and he crashed it. So his 22-year-old friend, Jesse Walker, came to get him.
Not Johnny
She was
Walker?
also drunk in her pickup truck. And she crashed it on her way
Oh my gosh.
as she was carrying out the rescue mission.
The company you keep, people. The company you keep.
So there's
Elevate.
2 crashed pickup trucks from 2 drunk drivers. Don't drive drunk,
Man,
dummy.
seriously, I hope they go to jail. I hope they go to jail for both of them.
They both lost their pickup trucks.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, thanks for tuning in today. Check us out on YouTube. The Annie Frey YouTube channel is approaching 900 subscribers. We're building this platform to try to be able to stream in multiple places, and we're grateful for everybody who has subscribed so far. You can watch the show on your YouTube app on your smart TV, also on your YouTube app on your phone and on your desktop, and as always on Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. And that radio.com app has our podcast on it. If you're streaming us live on radio.com, you can rewind that and you can just keep listening because the Dave Glover Show is going to come up right after this on the same radio.com app. Tony, thanks for coming in. Katie, Ryan, we'll see you tomorrow. DGS coming up next.
I'm not America's sweetheart, so beat the drum.